to the PionierGarage in Launchpad. Let's have a look inside. Now, down here we have the startup offices where actually the Grow winners too will get a chance to develop their ideas a bit further as they progress on their journey. Now, let's continue our journey through the Launchpad hybrid. Right here we have the Vorstandsroom, or the boardroom, where you have screens, a webcam, and lots of other exciting features that allow you to grow your business or to do other things that you just enjoy doing. Now, we move on to what's probably the most important space here. Creativity develops when you have a chance to relax, to lay down, to put your feet up, and to watch some TV. And this is what this space is for. When we move on, what I think is probably my favourite part of this entire place. It's the kitchen, where you can heat up food in the microwave, or get a coffee, stay awake, and keep yourself running, no matter how long the days might be in here. There's one more place I have to show you though. It's the co-working space. Let's have a look. Right here. It's large, it's vast, it's huge. Once COVID is over, you too will be able to have a look in here and to meet new people, to work on projects. And well, this is actually from where we'll be streaming tonight.
Alles klar.
So right now, this is where I'll be standing and where I'll be seeing you in a couple of seconds. A wonderful good evening and welcome to the finale, the grand finale of Grow 2020-2021. It is once again my pleasure to welcome you here from the PionierGarage Launchpad to this extraordinary event. It's been months of hard work, of enthusiasm. More than 100 pitches have been delivered in the event. Ideas were created, were grown, developed into something that nobody would have imagined before the event. It has been beyond inspiring. Now, my name is Alex and I'll be hosting tonight's event. It is a great pleasure for me and, well, obviously I'm not doing it alone. So there's a massive team actually working behind the scenes, not just here, but across the entirety of, I suppose, Karlsruhe, one might say. But we'll get onto those a little bit later on. It is clear that a competition like this, like Grow, cannot be managed, well, just by one person, and it can only be a massive effort of a lot of people and organizations. That is why, before we get into anything else, we're going to be introducing some of our sponsors for this event. Let's have a look who supported us all the way through this. We have Grenke, we have Allianz, we have the KIT obviously, and Zeiss as our main sponsors, and you'll be seeing their logos rotating on the bottom of the screen throughout the entire evening. Now, obviously, there's been more partners, and our startups have been working with a lot of them. We have N-Technon, we have Flügen Partner, we have First Momentum, SAP, Regionalwerk Wert AG, Quota Vista, and the PionierGarage, obviously, as well, making a huge contribution to making this whole competition possible. Now, obviously, participants of Grow have been receiving gift bags and goodie bags for all the events, including tonight. And that has been possible due to the partners you can see on the screen here. Weiss Food, Korvac, 5 Cups, Karlsruhe Digital, Stay Spiced, Red Bull, which I'm actually drinking right now, Zeiss, and Eva Sonnenschein. Now, this has been our partners and sponsors, but for all those maybe watching on YouTube who have not seen the entire progress that we've made so far going through the program, let's have a look back at what has happened so far. If we think back all the way to November 2020, we had the Kickoff event. It was the first event we streamed from here, and it was sort of a proving moment for us that we can do this online, and it's been absolutely inspiring. We've had more than 65 pitches. I remember that night vividly. It's been long, but it's been absolutely exciting. Seeing all those pitches and then seeing people progressing through workshops and a lot more things to then doing the midterm in December, the 17th of December 2020. That is when we for the first time introduced the jury as well to the competition. And the jury selected 10 of the people during the midterm, 10 of the pitches. It was still more than 40 pitches left in the midterm. And 10 of those were selected by the jury to proceed on to the finale of Grow, which is obviously what's happening tonight. It's been 3 months during which the startups have been developing their ideas, have been progressing, been building ideas and concepts, websites and products, quite frankly. Obviously, even here, Traggert, one of the startups here in the competition, they installed like sensors here. So I'm not sure what exactly of this tonight is being tracked. Luckily, the jury will be consulting in closed chambers later on, so they will not be able to track what's going on in discussions there. Anyway, so that's what happened, and I hope you're all sort of caught up with what has happened and where we are now and tonight. So obviously also interesting, this is a competition. What is there to win? Let's have a look right now at that exactly. So next to me, you can already see the trophy. Oh, you can't see right now. But in a second, you're going to see the trophies again. They're on a nice, beautiful table here next to me. There's a first, second, third place trophy. Third place gets 1,000 euros. Second place gets 2,000 euros. And first place gets 3,000 euros. Additionally, there will be a sustainability prize for the most sustainable enterprise, or the enterprise, the startup contributing to sustainable efforts in a most significant kind of way. Now, we obviously also have an additional little prize where strength coaching will be delivered to the first place winner to just push them on that little bit further. All right, so that's sort of the framework we're going to be working with tonight. As we mentioned before, the KIT is one of the main sponsors for the event and one of the main partners of the PionierGarage. And we're extraordinarily grateful for their support. Now, it was therefore also very important, obviously, to the KIT to show their support in person tonight. Now, seeing how it's COVID and we can't have countless people here, there is a little word of a greeting, there is, of Professor Hirth from the KIT, who is the VP of Innovation, and he'll be delivering his quick remarks right now. Professor.
Dear Grow finalists, dear mentors and partners, dear members of the PionierGarage, dear jurors, dear students, ladies and gentlemen. It's a great pleasure for me to welcome you as a patron of the Grow Startup Competition and on behalf of the KIT
I cannot, okay.
We would have liked to welcome you all personally in Karlsruhe to show you the innovation and startup ecosystem of the KIT, but unfortunately, this is not possible as present due to the pandemic. In its strategy, the KIT has clearly formulated that KIT provides knowledge for the benefit of the society and the environment and makes significant contributions to the global challenges facing of humanity. Therefore, KIT is preparing his students through research-oriented courses for responsible positions in society, economy, and science, as well as entrepreneurs. Besides research and teaching, innovation, that means technology and knowledge transfer, is a key element of the KIT strategy. Therefore, innovation and entrepreneurial thinking and acting are deeply rooted at KIT. For example, 3 of the founders of SAP, the market leader in end-to-end enterprise application, software, and a top cloud company, have studied in Karlsruhe, and every year KIT reaches top positions in the Founder Radar and the Startup Monitor in Germany. Innovation is one of the 8 fields of action of KIT strategy, and 2018 the KIT has adopted its innovation strategy with a strong focus on strategic cooperation with industry, intellectual property, entrepreneurship and startups, as well as culture of innovation. As Vice President for Innovation and International Affairs, it's also a matter of my heart that we promote culture of innovation and entrepreneurial spirit among our researchers and among you, dear students. Because the power of innovation will help us to solve important problems for humanity in the 21st century, we have to inspire our young people for this. Prior to this background, we have founded the KIT Gründerschmiede or Founders Forge in the year 2013 to support persons willing to found a company as well as to accompany young entrepreneurs on their first steps, students and researchers as well. As of today, it's one of the largest activities at German universities, and every year around 30 companies are founded at KIT with a peak of 50 startups in 2019. For the future, we will strongly focus on internationalization of startups, and with a Global Horizon program at KIT, funded by the Exist program of the BMWI. Today we have a very exciting final in front of us, where it will be decided which of the remaining teams in the startup competition will win the race. I'm very proud of you, dear students, that despite the difficult times of the pandemic, you will not allow yourself to be deterred and constantly keep an eye on and pursue your goals. This is exactly the entrepreneurial spirit that we need and desire at KIT. With the startup competition grow, the PionierGarage has created a format that positively influences the startup culture at KIT and strengthens it among students. The nearly 20 spin-offs from the students' environment in 2020 speak for this. The ideas do not only remain in your heads, dear students, but they are really realized, and today's competition also contributes to this. At the GROW competition, students of KIT, but also students from other universities, have the opportunity to apply with their startup ideas, to implement them with professional assistance if they are successfully accepted, and to further develop their entrepreneurial potential. The startup competition is the largest competition in Germany that is carried out by students for students. The fact that this competition is now taking place for the 8th time shows that not only there is a great deal of interest in this topic, but that you, dear finalists, have a pronounced founding and entrepreneurial spirit and are bubbling over with ideas and energy. Dear teams, you have worked very hard your business during the past weeks, which were certainly also very exhausting for you, besides your studies, and you have prevailed against other participants and are in the final tonight. We at KIT are very proud that our university group PionierGarage organizes and carries out such an outstanding competition as the GROW Startup Competition. For this, I would like to express my special thanks to you, dear students, on behalf of the Board of Directors of KIT for your commitment. Your dear students live and shape the innovation culture at KIT and contribute with your ideas and entrepreneurial thinking and acting to our continued success and constant improvement. I am looking forward to an exciting GROW final and keep my fingers crossed for all the finalists. And at the end, I would like to thank you for your attention, and I wish you all the best for the final. And please stay healthy.
All right, that was that. Now I heard that apparently the Zoom call was audible in the beginning on YouTube. Sorry about that, we fixed it, I hope. But thank you very much for that feedback, as we're getting still used to some of the variables we've introduced for tonight. Now, let's have a look at the agenda real quick though. First, obviously, the opening is already in motion. We're going to be then starting in, I hope, just about 5 minutes with the first pitches. They're going to be split into 2 sections with a 10-minute break in between. And then we're going to get on to the meet and greet with the co-founder of Trivago, Rolf Schroemgens. Very exciting interview. He has some very interesting insights into the startup world himself. Now, after that, we're going to be going on to the prize ceremony where all those awards are going to be going into your hands, hopefully. And, well, then afterwards, it's going to be the end. But there's going to be a little bit more time until that. And obviously, we want to make sure that tonight is an event which is interactive, which is exciting to everybody, not just the people pitching, but also the people watching on YouTube. Therefore, later on, you'll be able to win an exciting prize, actually, that will be, well, honestly, I'm a bit jealous that I can't compete. But that's going to be an exciting competition coming up later on before we go into the second round of pitches. Before that, we're doing one more thing that we've done the last times already. We're going to be doing some audience questions, and we're going to be doing them on Slido. So if Chris just throws up the Slido slide. First question for tonight, just to ease into what's going on. What are you drinking tonight? So for me, this is half Red Bull, half Spezi, just to keep myself fueled. Some others might be drinking other things. Now, to participate in that question, head on over to slido.com and enter the key Grow Final. I almost forgot to mention it. It's become so routine. So just enter, go open a browser tab, or use your phone or use your tablet, open a new browser tab and go on to slido.com. That's SLIDO.com and enter the key Grow Final. Grow Final, Grow Final. So we have somebody drinking tea tonight. That's really healthy. We have tea, water, wine, basil smash. That's unbelievable. We actually have a little bit of an online remote after party planned for the pitchers, the startups. So they will be able to mix their own little cocktail later, obviously in a socially distanced, safe kind of manner. Again, everybody can participate in this, be it the startups or be it people watching online. And water and tea seem to be favorites. This is impressive. People are so healthy around here. You always have that cliche with startups being like just drinking Red Bull, but clearly people are not. Kölsch. And that's more than one person. Like this is becoming a thing. All right. So this was the first question. Let's head on to the next one. And this is something we've been sitting here early and we're like, what can we ask? And we're like, actually curious. Why are you watching? You're still entering the answers for the drink. But we've been curious, who's watching tonight? Is it family members who want to support their startups? Is it people who are just curious about what Grow actually is? What the startup world in Karlsruhe, Germany and beyond looks like? If you just maybe love Grow, or of course PionierGarage is the best, of course you're just following whatever PionierGarage is doing. Great teams. We still have some tea coming in. Apparently teams are a massive thing. Also my English accent is evidently something that's still a hot topic. Out of interest, this is lovely. New ideas. Yeah, this is obviously something that you can do, that's possible too. You can just get inspired and do something, learn something new. Better than all shows on TV. We try our best, and we have some more little things prepared for you later on. You saw something in the beginning already, like a little teaser there. We have some more of those actually prepared. We've been having some fun with After Effects templates. Oh, this is too flattering. We have to stop doing those. Like it's always the same thing where I end up blushing and it misses the point. All right, so let's have one final question, and this is going to be interesting, especially I think to the startups watching. Who is your favorite tonight? Obviously, this doesn't have anything to do with who's going to be winning later, but it will be really interesting to see this, to get a sense who the audience favorites maybe are, which startup maybe managed to get the greatest amount of people on here to support them. This is interesting. MoThor going strong. Don't know yet, to be honest. Yeah, this is obviously an open competition and you can just come here to get inspired by all the exciting startups we have coming up tonight. MoThor, joeybag, traggert. Traggert, again, the guys with the sensor things out here, joeybag. It's becoming a more equal field by the minute. That's interesting. All right, so I think that's been enough of that. But be sure to hold on to your Slido because we'll be using that later on again to ask exciting questions to our keynote interviewee, Rolf Schroemgens, and we'll be also using Slido for an exciting quiz later on where, well, you'll be able to win an exciting viewer prize. All right, so that's been this. Now we know who you are, we know what you're doing, why you're here. let's get to the competition. Let's have a look what the judging criteria for tonight and for the entirety of the Grow competition are. Progress is the most important thing. It's called the Grow competition, and Grow is what you should be doing. And that's obviously the main criteria that the judges will be looking at. But there's other criteria as well. We've seen it last time, the specific questions that were asked by the jury, which were really, really intricate. Implementation, business model, validation, pitch, idea, quality of the product. A lot more goes into that. Those are some of the main criteria that we'll be looking at later, or that the jury will be looking at. Now, who is the jury actually? So we won't have them introduce themselves this time. I'll be doing that instead, just so we can make sure to get to the pitches as quickly as we can. So there you see me multiple times. But I'd love, instead of myself twice or more than that even, see myself and Sebastian Böhmer in that view, who is going to be here tonight with us. He's a founding partner at First Momentum Ventures, and he's going to be one of the judges tonight. We also have tonight with us Gerda Frank. She's a CFO at Innoratec GmbH. I'm so sorry. Reading is a difficult thing. Katharina Schmidt is also here tonight. She's also a guest, a juror with us. She's co-founder and CEO at Epic AI. Next up, we have Michael Becker. He's CEO at his own insurance company, and he also asked obviously very exciting questions last time around, and he's back once again this time. Hi, Michael. Good to see you. Next up, we have Michael Kemit, the second Michael in the round. He's the VP of Business Development at Grenke AG. Grenke, obviously, you know them from early on already, one of the sponsors for this event too. Lastly, we have Orestes Tertsidis. He's a professor and he's head of the Institute for Entrepreneurship, Technology Management and Innovation, NTechnon, here in Karlsruhe. Thank you for being here tonight with us. So excited to have you back. All right. Sorry about a little glitch with that scene there. I'm sure we'll be figuring that out as we move on through tonight, and we'll be using that scene a bit more. Anyway, let's have a look at what exactly the pitches will have to contend with tonight. What are the rules for the pitches? Throughout Grow, the pitches have been getting longer because we have been getting fewer startups in the competition. So tonight we'll be having a hard time limit of 3 minutes on the pitch. After that, anybody gets bored anyway. So that's a time limit, 3 minutes. A bit of a plot twist this time around is that the startups won't be seeing the time on their screen. So this is something, you know, a startup, you have to multitask. Founder, you have to do a lot of things at once. So they'll be running their own timer. But everybody on the stream will be seeing the timers already. And I'll be sure, obviously, to remind the startups when their time has elapsed. The main questions, obviously, to answer will be that, well, what problem are they trying to solve? And what have they done so far? How have they grown? After those pitches, same as last time, we're going to have questions from the judges, from the jury, and we're going to be giving 3 minutes time for that. So 3 minutes pitch, 3 minutes intense questioning, and then we'll be on to the next startups. With that, without any further ado, let's now get on to the pitches. All right, here we are. Let's have a look at the pitching order first. The pitching order for this first session is going to be first off, WhoWho, Kemit and Shure, Discover E, followed by Co-Leader and joeybag. Everybody else is going to be coming in after the break. The first pitch is going to be delivered by the guys from WhoWho. We are quickly going to transition on the tech side over to the Zoom scene, not the split screen scene that we have going on there now, so that they will be able to deliver their pitch with a shared screen. Everybody on YouTube too will be able to see that pitch. Here we are now. Actually, before we do that, I'm going to have to put in my AirPod to make sure I can hear you guys, which I hope I'm able to now. Okay. Feel free to now share your screen yes. and say a few words so I can make sure I can hear you guys.
Can you hear us?
I can hear you. Oh, that's
perfectly.
No, yes. Normally the tech issues have been on your guys' side. Tonight it's us trying to figure things out as best as we can. Anyway, we're here now. You guys,
okay.
Well, feel free to deliver your pitch.
Thank you very much.
Okay.
Okay.
Ready? This is Hannah. Hannah is 13 years old and does homeschooling at the moment. She's missing her friends and to play volleyball. But that is not the only reason that causes her sadness. Hannah is a victim of cyberbullying. She receives hate messages from her classmates on WhatsApp and Instagram. They're making fun of her because of her looks and her character. And slowly she starts to think that they're right and feels more and more worthless, lonely, and unwanted. Hannah is an example for millions of kids all over the world. And Corona increased and keeps increasing cyberbullying dramatically, and it can lead to horrible consequences, at worst, suicide. And I'm pretty sure each of you has a relative or a friend who was or is bullied, maybe without even knowing. And if not, you know somebody now, because I was a victim of bullying in school too. And this is why I know exactly what I'm talking about. And for us, looking away is no longer an option.
That's why we created WhoWho. And we want to show you that it is possible for a social media app to restrict cyberbullying and spread positivity while being profitable. You might ask, what is WhoWho? Let me help you out. It's a fusion of social media and a quizzing game where children exchange compliments and recently can even play further mini-games. By choosing the most fitting friend to the compliment, you rise in the leaderboards and your friend receives the compliment. There are several pain points added that can be relieved by watching ads or spending flames. In advance, programming an app was hard. And if there is anyone who thinks otherwise, please contact us. We have to mention that we have received over 30 rejections on iOS and even had calls with Apple employees. But we made it. WhoWho was recently approved. However, getting there was not easy either. We neither had the knowledge nor the hardware to program for iOS. But since midterm, we solved this problem too. Finally, we fixed a lot of bugs and errors. And in combination with Google servers and services, our app is now running smoothly.
Since midterm, we implemented a lot of new features. For example, we now have a story feature, guaranteed without cyberbullying. Furthermore, we implemented an interactive tutorial for new users so they can learn about all the cool features WhoWho has. And we are so happy about the third new feature. We finally launched on iOS. This step is so important for us because now we can reach all children and teens with a phone. Only when WhoWho is available on both platforms, we are able to make the impact we want. As already said, since the midterm, we made a lot of progress, but that's far not enough. Since we now have a finished app ready to download for iOS and Android, we can focus on distribution and scaling. We are ready to grow. Hannah is now in WhoWho, escaping all the negativity on social media. What about you? We are waiting for you.
Perfect. Was that it already? Thank you, guys. Awesome. So if we now have any questions from the jury, it would be awesome if you could use the raise hand feature to indicate you want to do to ask a question. I already see Orestes waving into the screen, and I see Michael Kemit also indicating a willingness to speak, and Gerda as well. Orestes, let's start with you. What's your question?
Actually, I didn't have one, but I'll make up one.
Oh, you don't have to get it, I'm sure.
So I hand over to Gerda. I will think about one here.
All right, Gerda.
Thank you, Orestes.
Yep.
Great pitch. From my point of view, really interesting idea. What's the business model behind? How will you earn money? Do you have an idea?
Yes, we have thought about it before midterm and even have thought about it after the midterm. So in the end, we have implemented ads with, like I said, we have implemented some pain points. For example, you can exchange compliments, but only 10 in an hour. So after an hour, you have to wait, and waiting is really a pain point. Nobody wants to wait. And to relieve this pain point, you have to either watch a video or pay flames, as I said, and this is an in-app currency. So we have two in-app currencies, one of which can be bought for real money. And so furthermore, we have stories, the new story feature, for example. It is some kind of a paid feature. So you either have to pay for it to unlock it, or you have to add a friend, you have to invite a friend. So we have not only implemented the ads and a payment feature, so in-app purchases, but we also have thought about growth hacking, because we think as a social media app, it is really hard to grow, and you have to get as much people on the platform as possible in as fast as you can, actually. And this is why we have combined in-app purchases, ads, further have AWin, if you know it, for more targeted ads, which we can implement further. And we have implemented some growth hacking features, actually. Yeah.
All right, thank you very much. Michael, Kemit, was there a question in the beginning that you wanted to ask?
Yeah, sure. You mentioned that you are now available in both of the app stores. Congrats for that. I know that is hard work and good progress. You have any numbers regarding downloads, recurring users, something like that? So how many traction you produce with your customers?
Mm-hmm. I can answer this question, or Sven, but yeah, we have, it was recently approved, as said, but now we have roughly 250 downloads on both iOS and Android. And as we said, we want to scale that up. It has risen after our iOS launch. And yes, these are the downloads currently.
All right, I see Orestes waving desperately into the camera,
yes,
and having raised his hand. Yeah, I also saw your hand on the side there. Orestes,
okay,
now it's your turn. Go ahead.
Yeah, could you again remind me how do you do that you avoid this bullying stuff? I mean, what's really the kick? How can you technically do that?
Actually, or Sven, yeah, feel free.
Yeah, actually, we give the compliments, or we write the compliments for the apps, so the users cannot actually generate user-generated content. We create every content which is in the app. And I don't know, maybe you know Quiz Duel. It's a question at the top, and then you have 4 answer possibilities, and we present the compliment at the top, and you have as answers your friends. So you can choose your friends, and this friend will get the compliment which is shown above. Yeah, and all compliments are written by us, so we manage to get a very high quality of these compliments, and the app is not used for billing.
Okay, thank you guys. If that's all right, then with the jury, I would now go on ahead with the next startup, because I cannot see any further raised hands. This continues to be the case. As such, this was it. Thank you guys from the WhoWho app. We're going to be moving on now to the next app, that being Kemit and Sure. And I see, yes, you guys are already sharing your screen, if I'm not mistaken. Oh, we need a break? I'm sorry, talk to me.
Are you hearing me now?
All right, I can hear you now, loud and clear.
Fine. Then,
all right, you guys, I can hear you, I can see your screen. You guys have 3 minutes for your pitch, and yeah, feel free to go ahead and kick it off.
So thank you for this occasion to pitch by this final. From this final pitch, actually, we expect more visibility, networking, and also financing. So now let's dive into each and begin with the description of the problem we try to solve at Kemit and Sure. So we begin in Germany with Patrick, a young Cameroonian working as engineer to provide for his family living in Cameroon. Well, my question for you would be to know if you believe me if I tell you that if Patrick's dad actually has a seizure in Cameroon and the family there does not have enough money to pay in advance for the medical care he needs, then chances are that he may pass over. Well, some may say yes or others may doubt, but Fabrice and I really know Patrick, and his dad actually died in such circumstances in September 2019. So there come a question for all Cameroonian or African living abroad, which is about how to guarantee an easy access to medical care for our relatives in Cameroon. Well, as we were mourning with Patrick, we noticed how careful he was about his family, as he will send them money every month to cover several needs such as electricity bills or scholar fees for his brothers. We decided to help him and also help all the Patricks out there to send healthcare to their relatives in Cameroon, because at Kemit and Shaw, we believe that providing for the families should begin with health insurances. So we have therefore built a comparison portal where we are listing the several offers from many companies in Cameroon so that the user can, from Germany, see the different offers and compare to choose the one that fits his family needs and budgets. We are therefore bringing more transparency in the insurance sense in Cameroon, and in our B2B2C business model, where we are the B in the middle, we are getting provision for each contract generated through our platform. So now I'll be talking about our market size and start with the new partner we have gotten, which is this Association of Cameroonian Engineers in Germany, with 2,500 people as members. The next number will be 14,000 people, Cameroonian living abroad in Germany and working here, and 1.2 million Cameroonian worldwide. Our petal diagram from Steve Blank shows us the different competitors we may have, which as bank, insurance company in Cameroon, money transfer platforms, and so on. Our team is made of David programming the application, Fabrice the expert of user experience, and me myself creating the most awareness as possible about our solution. So our roadmap, we started with the idea since 2019, are now working on the concretization, willing to win the growth challenge and write our business plan to prepare our seed funding next year. So to summarize it up, I will say that there is a problem, we have a team, and we have the solution. Thank you for supporting us.
Thank you guys very much for that pitch. That was well within time limit too. So we have plenty of time for excellent questions from our jury. Now, if the jury would use the raise hand feature to indicate a willingness to speak or to ask a question, that would be fantastic. Orestes, all right, here we go. Go ahead. I thought you were clapping. I wasn't sure whether it was a raised hand already, but go ahead and ask your question.
Yes, thanks a lot, Alex. Dal, thanks a lot for the nice presentation. And I mean, we've talked a couple of times. I'm wondering, where are you on the technical realization? So is there something, do you already have a prototype for the app, or is it something that is for the moment just in the concept phase? And if yes, how do you intend to move on in this?
Okay, thank you for this question. I will answer it by saying that yes, we have a product. As I show it, we have the prototype, and we had even run the first user testing case. So after this user testing case, we had a lot of feedbacks for the user, which we are actually trying to implement on our application to get it as better as possible. That's actually. And the next step we have done is also to get more and more offers. For the midterm, we only had 2 or 3 companies. And now we have like 1 more. So it's a step ahead too. And we are still building them, like their offer on the app.
Okay, thanks.
Awesome. Thank you. Are there any further questions from the jury?
Yes, I've got one.
Yes, Sebastian, go ahead.
Actually, can you please tell us a little bit how your sales and distribution will work?
Yes, I would like to do that. So I started to say that when I was presenting our market strategy, I say that we have a key partnership, which is a recent one. Since the midterm, we have partnership with the Association of Cameroonian Engineers and Informatica or Computer Sciences in Germany. So those are people who are just seeking for a solution for these several needs that are listed. So we will talk with them, have a partnership, and we'll first start to sell to these people as they are our serviceable, accessible market. But to track attention, we will use social media as well as community building, which is something we are trying to do actually.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Are there any other questions from the jury? Oh, yes, I can see Katharina. Go ahead.
Hey, so how much time do you have to keep on working on your idea? Like after growth finished, what is your take on making sure Kemit and Schroe will help a lot of people?
Yes, it's another good question. I will thank you for that very much. I will say that we are now building the app, and to get it running, we just need one last thing, the certification as insurance broker, which is something we're going to get in June 2021, sorry, so very soon. After that, we can run the app because we actually already have the different offers from the partners in Cameroon. And yes, we will therefore still need to run our fundings round, like to get enough capital. But after that, it will be done. So we think that we can be on market for the first quarter of next year.
Excellent, thank you. Do we have another question? We've reached the 3 minutes of questioning, but we finished earlier with
I have a question.
Yep, all right, Michael, go ahead.
Okay, like 2 questions. Like, do you get a fee from the persons here in Germany, or do you get a fee from the insurance companies in Cameroon? That's the first question. And the second one is, do you have to become a broker here in Germany or in Cameroon? Like, how does it work?
Thank you very much for this both questions. As I said in the pitch, we are receiving provision from the insurance companies for each contract generated through our platform. This is the normal way insurance brokers are working, even here in Germany. But for your second question, which is about, I think the second question was about, oh, can you help me on that?
Yeah, you told me that you become a broker. Yeah, like, is it a broker here in Germany or a broker in Cameroon? Like, how does it work? Like,
exactly. Thank you very much. So, becoming a broker means for us to have the certification to be able to work in Germany. But this same certification will be available, like it will be gültig, also in Cameroon. So we don't have to make an extra step about that. They only need to receive a certificate from Germany. But this is also something we are already working on with the lawyers we have there and here. Like, we have 2 lawyers company helping us in Germany and in Cameroon.
Excellent. Thank you, Donald, very much for those answers. With that, massive thank you in general to you guys, to Donald from Kemit Insure and the team behind the pitch. We will now be moving on to the next team who are also already sharing their screen. It is, as you can see, Discover E. You guys, welcome. Good evening. You too have 3 minutes for your pitch.
Thank you very much. You can hear us?
I can hear you beautifully and I can see your screen clearly. There's nothing standing in the way of you and massive success here tonight.
Thank you very much. Hi, I am Kati from Discovery, and we enable the energy transition from home. What you see here is the apartment building where I live, but what you don't see is my charging station for electric cars. My attempts to install a charging station failed miserably due to limited connection power, the lack of long-term concepts, and the costs. And this is a huge problem because 2/3 of the Germans live in apartment buildings. So what shall I do? Is there nothing on the market? Competitors only offer billing, not enough. Do not make optimal use of the limited connected load, or offer a bundle, but without a long-term concept for the dynamic development in apartment buildings. We thought there has to be a solution, and that's why we are developing our own. We offer an expandable charging system with intelligent energy distribution, and for this, we developed the operating software and combine it with hardware to form an overall system. Our concept: accompany the process, scale the system. Our credo: optimize supply instead of expanding it. And our freestyle: billing and operation of the charging stations. There will be 10 million electric cars in Germany by 2030. At least 2 million of these are electric cars in apartment buildings, and there is a need for 1 million charging solutions in there. This is an annual market volume of 300 million euro. Our business model consists of 2 aspects. We sell the charging stations and thus receive a margin of 150 euro. And we also offer our software for a monthly fee of 10 euro. We already have inquiries from 20 projects to electrify 70 parking spaces. And in 2 projects, we are currently close to the conclusion of the contract in order to realize 15 parking spaces. In addition, we are supported by funding programs with over 40,000 euro. Who founded Discovery? With knowledge of electrical engineering and IT, Jonas takes on product development. As an industrial engineer, Kai forms the interface between product and customer. And me? I am a mathematician and member of an administrative council for an apartment building. I take responsibility for the areas of funding and network. We are already supported by various partners and funding programs. We started in October 2019. In December 2020, Tobias and our second Jonas joined our team. And we started working with OKRs and challenged ourselves constantly. In January, we started building our first real test lab. And in addition, we analyzed our customer journey and started intensive consulting with our potential customers, as well as negotiations with our partners and suppliers. In summer, we will begin implementing our first 20 customer projects. And with these successes, we will conclude our first financing round in autumn 2021. Discovery. We enable the energy transition from home.
Nice. Thank you very much. Certainly a hot contender, I suppose, for the Sustainability Prize. Now, let's see where the questions are at. I don't see any raised hands yet in the over in the participants section, except from Gerda. Gerda, excellent. Do you want to ask your question first? And I see a waving hand from Michael for later. Gerda, do you want to start? Gerda, you have to unmute yourself for us to be able to hear you.
Problem.
Yes,
thank
here
you
are.
for that,
Excellent.
for that interesting pitch for a really challenging topic. I would be interested, how much of that idea have you already built? Have you already built the billing, the devices for the apartments, etc.? Did you already do all that things?
So, as we already mentioned, we develop software. We concentrate on the software development, and we have already developed a basic software to manage a charging station. The charging station itself, as you can see here, for example, we don't build ourselves. We take it from suppliers. And we have some contracts with them already. So we concentrate on the software, and next step is the billing. That's right. And we are mostly focusing on the efficient energy management system. That's our focus.
Thank you. The questions keep flowing in. Thank you, Gerda. Next up, Michael Becker. Do you still want to ask your question?
Yes, thank you. I have a question about the model. Like, do all the parties in such an apartment complex have to agree to this system, or is it also possible that only 3 or 4 parties or inhabitants want to have your system, or is it only a system which works in a whole complex, in a whole apartment complex?
Thank you very much for this question. In Germany, we have the Wohnungseigentümergesetz, and so this law decides how the charging system can be installed. And currently, you have a right to install a charging station, and the other owners in an apartment building only can say how you have to install the charging station. So it is our aim that we have the best solution that all the owners like, because everybody can join electromobility and the charging system later on, and nobody is lost in a decision by now, even if he or she doesn't install a charging system right now. So actually, it's only the decision which charging system is installed, and there we want to make the best offer.
All right, well, welcome to Germany, all those who are not German, and to the way things work in Germany. Katharina, you also raised your hand really early.
Yeah, thank you. So it's always really tough for us as a jury to compare the pitches, because some people have just started at Grow and some people have started earlier. So maybe you could make clear to us which progress you've made during the period of Grow.
Yeah, during the period of Grow, we started building our first real test lab, as we want to start installing our customer projects in summer. We want to test our system first of all, so that we make sure that everything works in the houses later on. We started building this. We currently have to wait a little bit for the other charging boxes that Jonas just showed, as there are long times for getting them. But then we will start testing it. And in addition, we continued our software development, as we now have a team of 4 people who are focusing on software and hardware development to make our product very great. And
there were very much contacts in the past. So the suppliers of not only wall boxes, but also of components like charging, like cable systems and other electrical components. We get in contract, we have good conditions. I can't talk about the conditions right now here, but they are quite good. And we are also focusing on the legal side. So there are much things, not only the Wohnungseigentümergesetz, but also other parts we are focusing together with lawyers. We are still in discussions to have our contracts. We are quite focused on this.
And we also started getting in contact with people like the Stadtwerke Karlsruhe, electricians, Netze BW, Vector, Ian, BW, so like very many partners that are important for us to get on the market.
All right, we have well exceeded the questioning time, but if you promise me that you stay very concise in your answer, I'm going to give you one more question for Orestes. I'm already getting angry looks from the team here, so please keep it very concise. Orestes, your question.
Yes, short question. You said you want to optimize. How do you do that? I mean, what exactly are you doing? Optimizing over the apartments or being an aggregator in the marketplace, or what are you doing?
We optimize as we do not have to get anything more of capacity of energy, but our system works with the capacity that we have in the house, and that everybody can join easily later on, like in 4 weeks, if he or she wants to get a charging system too.
Okay, excellent. Thank you very much. I'm going to cut it off here, and I think we have exhausted a lot of the questions. We are just going to move on to the next startup, if that's all right. Next up is a very different domain team from Co-Leader with a brand new logo, which they crowd sort of sourced with a lot of people being able to vote on it. I too did, and congrats on the decision. I like it a lot. Anyway, do you guys want to start your pitch?
All right.
I can hear you too. Perfect.
All right.
Excellent.
Thanks.
All
Perfect.
right, you're good to go.
Hi. All right, cool. Hi, everyone. Really glad to be here. We are Philip and Florian, the founders of Co-Leader, and we are providing data-driven leadership development for young team leads. Being a young manager is highly demanding. You have to set goals, delegate work, and motivate employees. However, traditional leadership development approaches are broken. They struggle with forgetting rates of up to 90%. More than 44% of young managers feel unprepared for their role. And even worse, 57% of employees reported that they left the job because of their manager. Obviously, existing leadership development solutions don't deliver sustainable results. We think this can be solved. Therefore, we at Co-Leader developed a personalized leadership training for team leads. We combine data-driven learning paths, learning on the job elements, as well as spaced repetition. Like Netflix recommends the right movies, we provide learning content that exactly match your development needs. This way, we stop one-size-fits-all trainings and tackle these high forgetting rates. Our goal is to provide effective and efficient leadership development that fits into a manager's tight schedule. We want to help each and every manager to shine in their demanding job. In terms of progress, we established a web platform that runs stable and reflects the core of our product vision. From leadership assessment over competency benchmarking to selection of your preferred learning topics. The personalized learning pathways contain various content elements and exercises like articles, videos, quizzes, and working templates. Additionally, we can proudly announce that we have launched our first mobile app for iOS and Android this week.
Another big achievement is our pilot with Green Pocket. We train the whole leadership team in competencies like goal setting, delegation, or conflict management. Why did they select us? Because they like Co-Leader's future-oriented approach and they value our effective learning experience. Finally, we are happy to share further milestones with you. We are ready to start pre-seed fundraising this month. We collected 2 new LOI and 7 new leads. By the way, the ARR of current LOI is about 50,000 euros. Moreover, we made more than 200 learning units available on our platform, advanced our assessment concept. We will launch a brand new website next week, and we developed a gamification concept to accelerate user engagement. We follow a B2B business model where firms pay €79 per month a manager. We operate in a large and fast-growing market with 12.8% CAGR till 2024. Our team consists of 6 people with complementary backgrounds in business, technology, and psychology. We collected experience at leading universities, worked for top-tier consultancies, and started our own businesses before.
All right.
If you want to learn more about investment opportunities or pre-seed round, please send us an email. We are looking forward to it. Thanks a lot for your attention.
Excellent. Thank you guys very much. Now, one piece of advice, just in case any jury members can't find the raise hand button, you have to click the participant icon in the bottom bar of Zoom, and that will open a participant section on the right side, and there you see a hand which you can click to raise it. As Sebastian Böhmer just did successfully. Congratulations, Sebastian. Do you want to ask the question right away?
Thanks. Yeah, I'm interested in the type of companies that you're wanting that you want to sell to initially.
Sure. We have as target companies selected SME with 250 to 1,000 people in employees. And we have seen that they are mainly driven by digitalization of their learning efforts. So it's an attractive market just starting up. First target segment was tax consultancies. And now we moved on to the second target segment of high growth companies, where we see huge demand, especially when they did their first round, Series A, for example, so that they have to professionalize their L&D departments.
Thanks.
All right, thank you. Katharina, I see your hand shooting into the sky.
Yes, Philip, maybe you could walk me through the process of a person that wants to use your service.
Sure. So imagine you as a CEO of a startup, you have many things to do. And the first step is to understand what you have to develop and what you need. So you start with a personalized diagnostic of your leadership competencies: delegation, conflict management, problem solving, motivation, different topics. Then you find out where you stand in different dimensions and can compare yourself to other managers in our platform. And then you get recommendations, what you should learn, what we think you should learn, but you are free to select the competencies you want to learn. So, for example, you take feedback, providing feedback, then we create a personalized learning path exactly for you. So because based on the assessment, we know what you need and what you don't need. And then you get a curated learning path over 3 months where you train step by step the topics you want to learn or you have to learn.
Yeah. One follow-up question. Have you thought about maybe like letting the employees decide which skills their CEO is lacking?
Sure. What we see is in our sales calls is two schools of thought. Let the manager decide by himself or herself, or let the people decide what he needs. One of our next steps will be that we include 360 degrees feedback. So that's not only self-assessment, but also the perspective of the people around you, your employees, your colleagues, your boss.
All right, excellent, thank you. Now I see 2 more questions and little time left, but we'll try to get through both of them. Michael, Kemit, do you want to start off?
Yeah, simply a question of understanding about the business model. You mentioned the content and material you provide to the young leaders. Do you make all of the content on your own, or you buy that content as well? And so you have costs for providing that material as well?
So we have a hybrid model. We combine curated content you find on the internet from top sources, top speakers, and we produce our own assessments, tests, learning exercises as additions to that. So we can bundle content that's already available, and we can produce others around it to make the perfect fit for you as a manager.
Great, thank you.
And we can reduce costs, of course. Yeah.
Smart move there. Now, Gerda, you also had a question left. Do you want to?
Yes. Thank you for the pitch. I love that call for action at the end. This is great. The question is, how do you organize sales? Because it's a sales topic.
So we have standardized sales process, which we have already tested. We build our link lists, then we approach the prospects on LinkedIn or Xing. After they accept our connection request, I call them by phone until they accept. Then we make the lead qualification to see if they really are ready to buy. And after that, we make product demo, offer test accounts, and bring them through the funnel. That's how we do it.
Excellent. Thank you very much for that. Can I Katharina, very, very swiftly.
When will you be profitable, or are you already?
We don't expect to be profitable that soon because we want to grow much faster and invest the money in the growth instead of becoming profitable. So for us, it's much more important to grow our content base, to grow our customer base, and in the long term also to target new international markets.
All right. Seemed to have worked for Amazon. So, well, that's something right there. Anyway, thank you guys very much from the co-leader squad. We will now be moving on to the final pitch before the break. And that is going to be the guys from joeybag. Feel free to go ahead and start sharing your screen. Oh, there's a nice little chap right there. Do you want to say a word so we can make sure we hear you well? joeybag team, Earth calling for joeybag.
Here we are. You can hear us?
I can hear you now. Beautiful. Thank you very much. Feel free to start with your pitch. You have 3 minutes.
Okay. When I was in high school, I hated writing exams. Once, just before a mathematics exam, my ultimate personal worst case scenario happened. I forgot my calculator. Now that's history. But today something else I forgot keeps frustrating me. This time it's forgetting my shopping bag. Now that's because I don't like buying bags I don't need and producing waste by that. But I'm not alone with this feeling. Everyone has to buy food and transport it home. But nowadays people are keen to minimize waste. So buying bags for a single use is frustrating, and many are unsatisfied with the quality and design of shopping bags anyway. So we felt the urge to create a sustainable yet convenient future for shopping bags, and we took action. With joeybag, our customer can right now choose a waste-free, high-quality and stylish solution that combines environmental impact with an easy rent and return process and access to special offers on top. How did we grow in the last weeks? Well, we gained market traction. We identified independent full-range retailers like Edeka and Rewe as an excellent retail segment to start with. Just this week, we started at another Edeka market. 2 more are coming in the next 2 weeks, and we have other stores in our pipeline.
By now, we have a clear picture of our customers, and we proved the feasibility of our systems process. 5 iterations of bags led us to the perfect material, performance-related and in terms of the best environmental impact. It's 100% recycled polyester made out of collected ocean plastic. With our 5 current partners, we expect to reach 650 customers per month, leading to annual revenues of 31,000. Regarding our profit formula, revenues come from a fee on every bag and a revenue share of the products sold on our partner platform. Our business needs scaling, and with 500 stores in Germany's top 10 cities, we will secure a viable business. We are the only circular system that, with our key partner MoThor, can be rolled out easily in Germany and all over Europe. Also, new laws by the Association for Environment and Nature Conservation give deposit and multi-use systems a rise in interest. So what's next? We're currently testing the partner platform with 2 bakeries, and we are happy to feature products of Linz in March. We have a lineup of market experiments to complement our insights about customer preferences and product features. And last but not least, in May, we will discuss a potential investment of our partner MoThor. We are joeybag, and we got joeybag. Thank you.
That was a lovely closing statement right there. Let's see about the questions. Sebastian and Gerda. Sebastian, do you want to start it off?
Yes, Thanks for this awesome pitch. Actually, how do you want to finance your venture in the future?
Mm-hmm. So with our partner, we will discuss pretty much in May what kind of assets, but also which kind of capital amount we will need in the future. And with them, we will have this talk on the investment. But also in May, it's likely that we'll, with the investment of our partner, also go for access or other programs which are really pretty much also for circular startups in the sector of circular economy, like the Horizon program by the EU.
Okay.
Awesome. All right, that was my cue. Gerda, do you want to continue?
Yeah, thank you for the pitch. I also realized that you managed to get a quite big article in the BNN. Great success, I think. Also, it's only BNN, but it's a great success, I think. My question is, do you have an idea about the willingness to pay for that service or the price? Or did you test the price people would pay for that?
Yes, so in December, the last month, we were in the market with a price tag of €3 for the deposit and 70 cents for the rental fee. And we sold about 200 bags within this retailer and realized, okay, there's a buying group of customers. Right now, at Edeka Behrens in the Waldstadt and Edeka Rees in Knielingen, we will test other prices. And also in the Oststadt at Edeka Behrens, we will test a system that runs only on the deposit. And we will get to know this in the future with our business experiments.
So we test prices with like 120 and also 95 cents only. And in the third experiment, we will test €5 of deposit only without a fee.
Yeah.
Excellent. Thank you very much. Michael Kemit, go ahead.
Yeah. Thanks for the pitch. Really interested in your development. Just a question regarding your figures. You mentioned you have already 5 shops and you make an annual revenue of 31,000, and then you want to go to 500 shops, but you earn less per shop. What's happening with the figures? You lose money on that track, or tell me a little bit about the pricing model more specifically.
So yeah, the 5 partners right now, the sales forecast is with them the revenue of 31,000 euros, and in the future, aiming at the 500 stores in Germany's top 10 cities, we aim for selling 400 bags each month, and this is quite conservative. We don't know yet the conversion rates of other bag buyers, so to say, of plastic bags, paper bags. We know the first conversion rates, like they are from cotton bag buyers, 83%, from paper bag buyers, 20%, plastic bag buyers, it's like 15%. So we decreased a bit the sales forecast.
All right, thank you. We are running very, very short on time, but Katharina, I want to give you the chance to ask one question real quick.
Thank you, guys. So I heard something about special offers. Could you elaborate on that?
Yeah, that's actually also one thing that adds to the sales forecast or the revenue forecast. But the special offers is the idea that we love that you don't only have a bag always at hand, but you get with joeybag a bag that is filled with goodies for you, so to say. And this is meaning the special offers. So, for example, in March, we will feature the products of Linz in the joeybag, meaning that customers can access through a technical interface those offers, meaning they are product vouchers or like rabatte. And those are the offers our community can access through the joeybag.
All right, thank you guys very much for that. Thank you for your pitch. We're hitting 7:10 on the dot right now. So that was then the first round of pitches that we had for tonight, as we will be transitioning and moving over into the break in just a second. Coming up after the break is the viewers quiz, where you will be able to win an absolutely astonishing, exciting prize, which will allow you to travel despite COVID, which will allow you to experience things that you may have never experienced before. So stay tuned for that. After that, we will also have the next set of 5 pitches coming up. We'll be going on a 10-minute break now. So yeah, get a coffee, go where you may have to go, maybe get a snack, and then we'll see you back here in 10 minutes. Welcome back to the finale of Grow 2020. Welcome back after the break. I hope you are all recovered and feeling great about yourselves. Now is the moment that I've just announced in great glamour and galore. We have our viewers competition coming up now. Everybody watching on YouTube can participate. Everybody pitching on the Zoom call can participate. Everybody can jump in and try to win this extraordinary prize. Let's have a look at what's up for grabs. The Slido Audience Award. You get a chance to win a 3-day campervan trip. What? Yeah, it's absolutely right. You get a voucher from us with, I forgot what the company's called. Arthur, can you remind me? Road Surfer. Yeah, that's it. Road Surfer. And it's a voucher which allows you to rent a campervan like that, not quite as old looking, for 3 days, for 3 nights actually. And you can go to the mountains for a bit of a skiing trip, so long as COVID rules allow. You can go to the North Sea and do whatever you want with it. That is your chance to win right now. And we have once again a trivia quiz. The way for you to participate in this quiz is to head on over, as you did before, to slido.com and enter the code GROWFINAL. Exactly, here we are back on Slido and we see some of the participants. You now have to enter your participant name and we'll give you just a couple of moments for that to make sure everybody is on board. Again, you can use your phone, your tablet or your laptop. Go on to slido.com, that is slido.com, and you go on over to, you enter the code GROWFINAL. Again, I see a lot of people participate, 18, 19, it's 20. I see a Michael there. I'm curious whether that's one of our jury members. We'll see about that. So for the competition coming up in just a second, we will have 15 questions. And not only does it matter whether you answer them correctly, but also it will matter how quickly you answered them. So just in case we have 14, the first 2 participants had 14 correct answers in the end. Whoever had them quicker will get the prize. The more, recognizable your name is now, the better we will be able to allocate the prize in a second. So we'll give you just another second to jump in. We have Marketing Genius, I suppose that is Jonas jumping in there. 55 participants. This is getting exciting, yeah. So again, it's worth about €300, that voucher. So it's 3 nights in a camper van in a location of your choosing. Heck, you could go to, I don't know, Poland if you'd like to, if that's your jam. We have 65 people in the quiz right now, 66, and it keeps on growing. I hope somebody's also there trying to win it for me, but I actually don't know the answers to all the questions myself from the top of my head. I only looked at the questions earlier, but they are certainly less Googleable than last time. So, this will be difficult. We also, I think, shortened the time you have to answer the questions. So we'll go into that in a second. 674, 76. This is, I want to start off, but people keep on joining in. So we'll just take another second for this to fill up. 80 people now in here. Yeah, well, I would have been surprised if anybody wasn't trying to win this exciting prize. All right, so let's go on and start the quiz right now. Boom. In how many countries can you not buy Coca-Cola? 4, 2, or 3? Yes, you have to be really, really quick with your answers. So only 45 people managed to answer right here. You have to be really, really quick. You saw the timer counting down. You only have like about 10 seconds to answer that question. So, well, better have a guess than not take anything. So the correct answer was 2. There's only 2 countries in the world where that's the case. Let's go to the next question. What are the Canary Islands named after? Birds, dogs, or fish? All right. I'm getting some interesting cues from behind the scenes here. What's going on, Chris? Nee, I don't need my AirPods now because I'm not interacting with a Zoom call. That is obviously by choice because now the audience is what matters. And a lot of you were wrong. Dogs. That's an interesting fact. All right. In which country is Mamunkuku Umpurangukakutunya Hill located? Sorry, Alex. Okay, thank you, Tony. That was horrible. Anyway, let's see where we are in terms of the answers. I think you guys just randomly selected something. Australia. The minority got it right. Which country has about 221,000 islands? Is it Indonesia, Norway, or Sweden? I'm going to just deactivate notifications on my iPad real quick. All right, let's see the correct answer. It's Sweden. I was honestly surprised, but I thought it was Indonesia. All right. Who owns all the giant pandas in zoos in the world? Is it Jack Ma, or the government of China, or the Gates Foundation? Okay, yeah, this is an easy one to be fair. It is obviously the government of China. Oops, let's see. Yeah, there it is. All right, next question. A study of 2003 shows that how many men are direct descendants of Genghis Khan? 1 in 2,000, 1 in 2 million, or 1 in 200? Yeah, you had to be really, really swift there. All right, so let's see what it is. 1 in 200. Is that even believable? We have about 200 people here spread across Google, YouTube, and the call. So somebody is. Raise your hand if it's you. What is car glass called in the UK? Car glass, autoglass, or whole glass? Also, just for information, Eleanor just raised her hand. She's obviously the head of Grow. And we'll have to chat about your great-great-grandfather there. All right, let's see what it is. Autoglass. Oh, shit. Autoglass was correct, by the way. I pressed too quickly. What expression is found only in the human species? Winking, blushing, or sticking out the tongue? My stepsister loves it when I stick out the tongue, and that makes her do funny faces. That was weird. Anyway, blushing is obviously the correct answer. Here we go. Next question. What does grün transfer refer to? Getting lost in a mall, reaching the green with the first shot when golfing, or acquiring the US citizenship? All right, let's see where we're at. And it's getting lost in a mall. I had to Google that too, and I was surprised by the answer. Only 2 mammals like spicy food, humans and the tree shrew, the naked mole rat, do colugo. Those are not getting any easier, Tony. So let's see about the naked mole rat. It's the tree shrew. I don't even know what that is. I think we have to Google that and find a picture of that for later. All right. Who were Forrest Mars and Bruce Murray, the creators of M&M's? The first gay couple that moved to Beverly Hills, the MCM designers. What's MCM? It's a fashion brand, clearly. I don't know anything about that. All right, it's the creators of the M&M's. What did the dentist William Morrison invent? Candy cotton, mint-flavored toothpaste, or sugar-free chewing gum? This is a difficult one this time around. It's not as easy as last time. Let's see the answer. It's cotton candy. Is that a dentist? Unbelievable. How many different meanings are there to the English word set according to the Oxford Dictionary? 180, 430, or 1,200 and 1,240? I was surprised that the numbers were even that high at all. 430. That's why we all struggled so much learning English in school. What was different about the original Superman before the 1940s? He was blonde, he couldn't fly, he was tiny. Oh, 49% say he couldn't fly. Let's see. It's true. Superman. Well, he still can't really fly, can he? It's like, well, anyway. What did astronauts describe the smell of space like? Like melting butter, like searing a steak, like a gin tonic. Oh, gin tonic. 40%, 1% say gin tonic. Maybe that was just a hopeful guess. Like searing a steak. How about that? Well, that was the final question. This was hard. This was, honestly, that was difficult. So let's see who of you was sharp, who of you was quick, who of you gets the coveted prize. Christian got 9 out of 15 answers correct in a time of 1 minute and 51 seconds. Christian, congratulations. Please go ahead and contact us now that we have gone through this, because obviously there's a lot of Christers and Christians in the world and in our community here. So please reach out so we can make sure that we get you hooked up and on the road. That was exciting. That was fun. All right. With that being said, I'm going to get back my AirPod. Make sure I get myself unmuted in the Zoom call. And we're going to get on back to the pictures. Let's have a look at the pictures coming up now. This is the second set of pictures. Now, first off, we're going to be having the Waya collective. Prior, they were called Fashion Made in Africa, but they renamed and have a brand new logo as well coming up. We also have coming up Data Flares, MoThor, Linz, and Traggert as the last pitch finally. All right, with that being said, I suppose it's time to transition back over into pitch mode, where the viewers get to see our Zoom call, where I will get a different, where we give the Zoom call a different, there we go, the extra camera, so they see me again, no matter what's happening, and don't just see a mirror picture of themselves. Waya Collective. Tony, do you want to go ahead and share your screen and maybe say a word to make sure that my AirPods are working?
Yes. Can you hear me and see my screen?
I can hear you beautifully, and there is your brand new logo. Awesome.
Okay, perfect.
You have 3 minutes, like the others.
Okay, thank you. This is Lucy. Lucy wants to wear fair and sustainably produced clothing. But as you can see, the variety is scarce. So, is this the outfit of our future? There's a growing demand for ethical fashion. So why is it so difficult to buy it? Lucy decides to change that and starts her own fashion label. But soon she realizes that it's almost impossible to put her ideas into reality. To ensure quality, fair working conditions, and sustainability, she would have to go on ground herself and visit the factories. Additionally, they don't even provide the unique designs and flexibility that she's looking for. Her passion is fashion, not production. Lucky for her, our passion is production, and our goal is to make producing ethical fashion as simple as it can be. We provide fair and sustainable fashion as a service, which means that we can take care of fabric sourcing, technical design, production, and logistics. Labels give us their ideas, and we make it happen. So how do we do this? What's the magic behind it? We are rethinking modern fashion production. We don't produce in huge factories, but in locally managed mini factories in Africa, which will be organized in a franchise model. Together, these factories connect to a huge decentralized production network and create millions of jobs for people in Africa. The system will be enabled by tech. With that, we can ensure the scalability we need. So what are our qualities compared to our competitors? Through our local and flexible model, our tailors can produce any unique design, and we can do orders from 1 to an unlimited number of pieces. Because we're on ground,
we can provide full transparency. What have we achieved during Grow? When Grow started, we were just an idea. Now we're production ready with the first facility in Uganda. We have built a brand and a website, and most of all, we have 2 paying customers. While our orders increase, we will grow our workforce in Africa and build a tech platform that will make us ready to scale. This is us. Our experience and diversity make us the perfect team for this task. We are Waya Collective, and we make Africa the ideal place to produce fair and sustainable fashion. If you have any ideas or contacts or questions, write us an email and stay in touch. Thank you.
Thank you very, very much, Tony, for that pitch on the dot. Now, let's see about the jury. We have the same procedures last time. Obviously, 3 minutes allotted for questions for every pitch. And the jury members, to ask a question, please raise a hand so as to indicate the willingness to ask such a question. Sebastian, do you want to kick it off?
Yes, my pleasure. How do you actually provide quality control about your supply chain? How is your supply chain structured?
Yeah, so it's going to be a decentralized model, so that's very important. And of course, we know that we need basically someone to check it at every level, and quality is one thing that is probably one of the most important things and one of our biggest values. So we really want to ensure that there's one head in every mini factory, let's say, and one person who organizes these tailors in this mini factory, and they also control production. So we're going to have, well, there's like sizes which you only can differ for a range. So people who are going to check that the specific requirements in all of these production centers.
Thank you very much. Now we also have a question from Gerda. Gerda, do you want to ask you a question now?
Now it works. Yeah. Thank you for that really interesting pitch. I have a question about the business model. For me, it looks like a B2B2C. Am I right? And how do you manage that challenge to address that different stakeholders?
Well, so we see ourselves as a B2B business model. So we see that market that is growing, which is the B2C market, the growing amount of people who want to wear fair and sustainable fashion. So we see that opportunity, but we really want to target labels. So our main target now, which we're going to start with, like small labels, like for example in our example, Lucy, who wants to change something and who maybe says, okay, I want to start a label, and who maybe has already a lot of followers on Instagram or something like that, and now they want to produce, and for them it's really hard, kind of. So we talk to a lot of those labels, and for them it's really hard because, yeah, the transparency, the sourcing, it's their passion is really fashion and making that happen, and not the production. So that's, yeah, we're really targeting those people, and to make it as easy for them as possible.
All right, thank you. Now we're going to just move on to Katarina for one more question, even though I'm getting bad angry looks already.
Hey Tony,
go ahead.
So about the slide where you show your competition, you say on there that you have an advantage in the pricing field, which I'd be interested in. Why is that so? And also, what would happen if large producers or large, say H&M, were to start trying to also produce in Africa or to go more sustainable? Would that be a problem for you?
Yeah, so your first question, the price. So in the long run, we think that Africa is going to be cheaper because the salaries are going to increase in Asia. And yeah, so labor is still quite cheap in Africa. Of course, we want to be fair, so we're going to pay a fair price. But yeah, I think especially for smaller labels, because we're an as-a-service model, you don't only have to calculate the cost for the product, but also the cost for everything that's around it. So the sourcing, the logistics, and yeah, we think because we're going to build a platform and we're going to manage all of these things for many people. So for example, then yeah, we can do logistics for many of these smaller labels. Maybe only like let's say 100 labels only order a small amount, then we can just do logistics together for them. So that would decrease the price. Yeah, so that's what we think. It's probably the tailoring and the production itself is not going to be much cheaper than Asia, and we don't even want that because we want to be fair. But because we have this entire system, we hope to make it possible to do to provide a cheaper price for this entire thing. Right. Yeah, so that was the first question, and then your second question was again
very concise, please.
What was the question again? The second one?
I'm sorry. What about the big contributors? So the people who are
right.
doing what you're doing, what you want to do.
Well, I don't think that would be a problem. I think that would be great, actually, because they also don't produce themselves, so they also have their companies who produce for them, and they might also be a customer. So we don't only want to target these small ones. We start with these small ones because they are, right now we can give them what they need in a way with these small quantities because we're also small. But then at some point we have this flexible network and we're gonna be able to also produce a lot, and that would be actually great. So we would love to have them as our customers.
All right, thank you very much. I'm going to have to cut it off there. We have exceeded our time for questions, and I'd kindly like to ask all remaining startups, pitches, participants to really stay concise with their answers just to make sure we have a fair playing field here, and that I don't have to ask you to stop speaking before you've finished making your point. Anyway, we're going to be moving on to the next startup now. It's going to be Data Flares. You guys feel free to share your screen and unmute yourselves to get going with your pitch.
Hello, hello. Can you hear us?
I can hear you loud and clear, and I can see
Great.
your screen. Feel free to go ahead.
Even better. So we're ready to go. Let's start. Hi, we are Phil and Dan from Data Flares, and we want to talk about data privacy. Have you ever clicked on accept on a privacy question? Well, congratulations, you are being tracked. And whether you like it or not, we are all constantly tracked. Not just by cookies alone, search history, metadata, Facebook likes, and much more. Sarah here is no exception. Let's look at what she does. She was on a gynecologist's website and Googled the phone number of a Dr. Murphy. 15 minutes later, she visited a domain called Baby Names. Knowing nothing but her surfing history, take a wild guess what happened. Sarah got pregnant. And if we can make this conclusion from such little information, imagine what private details data companies know about you, having almost infinite time and data sets to learn from. Then, data might be analyzed, used for targeted marketing, and get exposed in a data breach. On top of this, money is made with your personal information. Well, what can we do about this? There are many approaches, and most of them try to disable tracking. Instead, we thought, what if just flood the enemies with additional data? Our solution, a browser plugin that simulates consumer behavior in order to distract behavior analysis. Data Flares. We want to give people back the power over their own data by hiding it in simulation, an approach that hasn't been seen before. Another example, question for all, what's Paul's favorite sport? Obviously, it's basketball. Now, Paul is using Data Flares. While Paul is looking for basketball online, Data Flares is looking for baseball, golf, and cycling. Same question, what's Paul's favorite sport? The answer is, you can't tell anymore. With Data Flares, we don't care how good they track you, we simply give them an impossible database to work with. And whether it's a very private thing, like Sarah's pregnancy, or a harmless fact, like Paul's favorite sport, your personal information is safe with us.
We started them to grow with nothing more than a thought. Two business guys having an idea about data privacy. And by the midterm, we shaped our idea into a concept. Since then, we've been pushing our idea steadily forward. On the 7th of January, we went open source on GitHub and started coding on the first prototype. We developed expertise and advanced our team by freelancer, and today we are proud to present to you the first working prototype of Data Flares. As you can see, our plugin is already installed in Chrome, and we can simply start it with the icon on the top. In this new tab, our plugin opens a given website and starts to surf on its own. We are planning on using search bars, simulated typing, and more to bring the simulation as close to the user side as possible. Of course, there is no need to watch. You can go on and do your own stuff in another tab. The plugin will continue in the background. We are not only addressing an important problem, but also a promising and growing market, and can't wait to get the internet to use data flares. Grow gave us the opportunity to bring a mere thought to a promising project that we are excited to go on with. Therefore, we want to use the last seconds to thank you all for making this possible. From photo booth to workshops, we had a lot of fun and learned even more. Grow might be over, but our growth is just getting started.
That was on the second. Thank you, guys. I can already guess the first question coming up, though. Who is going to ask it? I don't see any hands. All right, Michael Becker, go ahead and ask it.
Yes, hi. Very good idea. Like, I would like to know, like, what was your progress since midterm, like during the last weeks?
Okay, so try to go back on this slide. Until the midterm, we had a concept. We had, basic code snippets, ideas, and a big concept how things should work out. And since the midterm, we started to try to implement things. We started to code, and we developed and upgraded our code. We started to work with a freelancer who support us in coding and development to that point of today where we could actually do a live demo of a working prototype.
All right, thank you. Beautiful. Now, Sebastian, you had your hand up there too.
Yes.
Quick question. Is it okay from like conciseness if I be like in that?
Yeah. I think
that was really good. That took us 1 minute there. So if we keep on at that pace, we should be all right.
Yeah, I would ask for your intended business model, and also if you are looking forward to create a open source community, or do you want to keep it proprietary?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. We're going to use a classic freemium model as it's commonly used by data security plugins. We want to have a free version with a daily time limit of 2 hours and a premium version with unlimited usage for $4.99 per month. And for the pricing, we took into account pricing of the main competitors and settled in the lower segments. And the 2 hours limit should, according to current data about the daily internet usage, cover also a great part and great benefit already, while there's exceeding demand for our premium product. And yes, we want to develop open source, of course, and keep this all a community project. Nevertheless, our planned structure of the software will keep the secrets in our own hands.
Yeah, that's a good question with how can we try to monetize although we go open source. So we had the idea of we're going to split the code later on. There's going to be a part of the code that everybody downloads as a plugin, but also we want to have a client server architecture. We gave it a little name, Sophie and James from the famous Dinner for One, where Sophie gives the instructions to James. So everybody downloads James, and there is a server which gives the instructions down. So the James, the client can be a open source, but later on the instructions come from our own server, and which allows us for monetization.
All right, excellent. Now moving on to Michael Kemit, as I'm already. No, Michael, go ahead.
You mentioned simply the competition. Can you tell us a little bit more about your insights into the competition?
Sure.
Why are you different? Is basically the question. Yeah.
Yeah, the market is, as we said before, there's many existing solutions, but they all have in common that they try to disable tracking. We call it blocking. And what we do is blurring. To name a few from the competition, there's blocking tools, for example, AdBlock Plus, uPrivacy, Ghostery, Privacy Badger. There's browsers like Tor browser. Safari recently has a tracking blocking device. Also the search machine DuckDuckGo. And the third category is VPNs like NordVPN or CyberGhost. But they all have in common that they try to block or disable tracking. We try to blur tracking. Like they can track us as good as they can, but it doesn't matter to us.
And that's also, we think, might be a better solution, since, of course, the blockers are always in competition with the trackers. And always there's a new form of tracking, there's a new form of blocking it, there's a new form of tracking, there's a new form of blocking it. And we try to escape that cycle and form a new approach.
All right, thank you. Now, this is going to be a quickie, but Katharina, do you want to go ahead and ask that final question very swiftly?
Yes, really quick. So you want to enter the market. Which are the first people you want to address, and how do you want to get in contact with them?
Yeah, thank you very much for that question. First of all, we are expecting a higher demand in the age group between 25 and 44, since they are using the internet a lot and should also have already the awareness compared with the younger age group. Our come-to-market strategy is that we want to create a niche solution for a target-specific scenario, for example, like pregnancy or hiding your religion or financial situation. And this is much easier for a come-to-market as we can target specific and work, for example, with influencers or social organizations within that specific fields for getting attention. And in the end, we can combine all these scenarios. And as you can see, diversity in the end will really make us effective, and our solution only becomes better the more it is used in the end.
All right, perfect. Thank you very much, guys. We're gonna have to move on to the next startup now, seeing how we're progressing swiftly on the time scale. Next step is going to be the MoThor. Feel free to share your screen and unmute yourself so we can get a sense for what your lovely voices sound like.
Can you hear me? Hello.
Yes, we can hear you loud and clear, and we can also see your screen. Nice. All right, feel free to start off.
Wonderful. All right, can you see me?
Yep.
Perfect. So, my mom wanted an e-bike, but they were very pricey. She found the one for her though, and she was so happy. She planned a long trip, but where could she recharge? She rode away anyway, feeling very free, until the battery got empty. Blimey. So she looked for a charger, but only found a tree. And when she finally found one, it took hours to charge the battery. Even when she didn't use it, she still had to care after it. 2 years later, the battery suddenly died and she cried. And what to do with it now? Get rid of it, but how? Millions of tons of e-waste yearly. Wow. Now she needs to buy a new battery, but which one is worth the money? Can't e-mobility be more sustainable and easy? Of course it can, Mom. Your son is an engineer. With my trusty team, we're working on systems that will make that possible. We're designing a durable battery pack that's part of a circular economy by making it modular, easy to repair, disassemble, and recycle. Whether as an integrated replacement or as a secondary battery, our battery pack will be perfect for you, offering different size, shape, and color options to fit your applications. Our solution is to share and swap. Instead of buying an expensive battery, be part of our sharing system, and instead of charging for hours, just swap your empty battery for a full one in seconds at one of our stations. And this is our battery station, where everything comes together. Here, people can swap or charge their batteries and just relax. Behind the scenes, the station can save renewable electricity and share it when needed. All of this while taking good care of the batteries and sorting out the defective ones for repairs or recycling. Still, mom can't be your only customer. We asked the market and got some answers. Let us begin at the very top. The high growth market global for mobile and stationary lithium-ion batteries is worth about $30 billion as of 2020. We'd like to take it all, but for starters, our serviceable, addressable market will be the German e-bike market. In a survey conducted by us, we found out that over half of the e-bike owners face the same problem, and almost 80% are concerned with the current recycling process of the batteries. Our share of the market will come from 4 different revenue streams. With our B2C model, the customer pays a yearly membership fee for battery service. The pricing will be dependent on the time use of the battery. Municipalities and such can purchase the battery stations to provide public charging. We can set up our battery system for every business that has or operates a fleet of light electric vehicles. And the last stream will consist in licensing our system for manufacturers to implement it into their light electric vehicles. Way back in October, MoThor only consisted of Theo and me. Since then, the team MoThor has tripled in size. 4 new members joined the project, 2 engineers and 2 business developers. And then, with our new team, we got to work. Since the midterm, we have drafted 2 iterations
closing remarks on the pitch
of the patent, which is currently under lawyer's revision. Our engineering team developed the first prototype and the first CAD model. And now, if you want to know more, you can visit our freshly designed website. Grow has been a truly great experience for us, so thank you for everything.
All right, thank you guys very much for that lovely pitch. You went a little bit over time, so we are going to deduct that from your questioning time. Anyway, we have a first question from Katharina Schmidt. Go ahead and ask your first question.
Thank you. So, well, the obvious question, of course, whether whose mom it was. Is it one of your moms? There?
Yeah, it was my mom.
Okay, awesome. So the second one, I saw that you plan to have a shop of your own, so or several shops. So what's your cost structure gonna be like? How do you finance keeping up a shop and the person who's gonna be standing in there, probably?
Well, we can't go too much into the details right now because we're developing everything. But yeah, of course, in this image, there's a lot to be taken care of and many things to be paid. But we will also have smaller stations where you don't need to have somebody in it, right? So first of all, the battery station gives you revenue because you can store the energy and sell it. And with this money, that's not a cost, right? And you only have to make repairs, which will be part of our service.
All right, thank you. Orestes, you have a question as well.
Yes, I do. I'm sorry.
No worries.
Sorry for that. So thanks a lot for the presentation. I think from my perspective, one of the biggest challenges is the question, how standardized is such a product? Because if you want to reuse it in different bicycles or different other devices, it must be a standardized product. But as far as I know, today it's all proprietary architectures. So you need to really implement a dominant design, and this is one of the most challenging things you can think of. So what's your stance on that? How will you proceed?
Well, that's our biggest advantage. But as we said, we're working on patenting it, so we can't disclose any information on how it actually works, which is a bit frustrating, but it is what it is.
All right, thank you very much for that. I don't see any further questions. So with that in mind, I would move on to one startup that is every night sure to make me hungry. It's the guys from Linz. Feel free to go ahead and start the screen share and unmute yourselves so we can hear you loud and clear.
Hello, can you hear me?
Yes, we can hear you. Welcome. Good to see you guys.
All right. So we'll start now.
Yep.
Hey, everybody. I'm Sahil, this is Alex, and we want to start our pitch with a super serious quote that explains perfectly the importance of our idea. So to be honest, we don't actually control the universe, but at least we do something with spices. India is home to most spices, and the cuisine is very popular, especially for vegetarians, vegans, and all those who just want to eat less animals. Now, imagine trying to cook some Indian food. You choose a recipe for one of the 2 dishes you know, go out, buy a gazillion spices, throw them together, and end up with something very, very disappointing. You know what's also very disappointing? Very few of the available spices are really sustainable or fair. The spice trade is reckless, and the poor farmers in India kill themselves on an hourly basis, and that's the harsh truth. With us, besides just buying your new favorite spice mix, you get to learn something about the Indian culture and support the people in India. Unlike others, we never compensate for a lack of flavor by using cheap fillers like salt or sugar. Based on our knowledge on Indian culture, we are able to provide the best of the best just for you guys. So you still might be wondering why there are 2 guys who sell spices amongst all these super innovative ideas. Well, besides being tasty, we of course try to grow. Let me show you. At the kickoff, we basically started with nothing. We didn't even have slides to present. Now, as you can see, we do have slides, and we received over 140 new orders amounting to revenues of over 5,000 euros. We were also amongst the top 6% of Shopify stores that launched the same week as us. Doesn't really say much, but it sounds cool, so we had to mention it. You know what also sounds cool? We got featured in 2 local newspapers as well. Compared to that, having a finished business and financial plan sounds not that cool, but if you want money, you got to put in work. Having some customers is great, but at this stage and any stage really, it's very important to understand them deeply. So we did a survey on how our customers use our products, how they feel about packaging, waste, and other spicy topics. And based on the results, we started evaluating and reducing our footprint in every step of our value chain. So now, instead of selling one-way glass, we decided to go for plant-based organic packaging that is home compostable or can be recycled like regular paper. Our optional spice jars will be produced sustainably by local ceramic ateliers. And last, but definitely not least, in the midterm, Sebastian asked us about our supply chain. And we had to admit that establishing a direct relationship to India was hard without flying there. Thanks to exhausting research and a ton of calls, we found an awesome partner. By working with her, we enable a career for uneducated women and also get freshly hand-ground spices that will help us stand out more than we ever imagined 2 months ago. So for the last couple seconds, you can enjoy this photo of us bringing a full car of deliveries to the post office. Thank you.
Thank you very much for that pitch and those minutes of entertainment. First up in the air was the hand of Michael Becker. Do you want to start off the questions?
Yes, thank you. Thank you very much for the nice presentation. I would like to know, what do you think about your distribution channel? How do you want to grow? How do you want to grow in the future?
Okay, so basically, we have developed an entire business plan, as I said. Our first focus will be direct sales, so direct to customer via our Shopify store. And for growth, we will be investing more in marketing and influencer strategies. And later on in 2022, we want to start with Lebensmitteleinzelhandel, so with retail chains. For that, we want to do some proof of concepts first. We're doing some with local retailers, and later on we will advance in this business area or in this distribution.
Nice, thank you very much. Sebastian Böhmer. Seb, what's your question?
You mentioned that you want to expand vertically and capture more parts of the value chain. What actually are you going to do in this regard with your next steps? And that's actually my question.
So now we have the supply chain. As I said, we have a partner in India, and we have a lot of other partners in India as well. We discussed with many of them. Some have larger MOQs. And we also do look at all the suppliers we work with. For example, for this packaging concept, we work with someone who neutralizes their CO2 emissions. And we try to go this way. For example, we have found a partner that will do the filling for us. So that's a rather small company, but they do also care about organic products. They have an only organic production certified. So this is what we look at in the value chain.
Cool. I think maybe Ankerkraut is a good role model for you to work with.
Can I say something?
Yeah, go ahead. It's your time.
Ankerkraut does have a lot of organic products, but they still mostly have not organic certified spice mixtures. So that's clearly a differentiation where we say, okay, we will only offer organic products.
All right, to close off the questions, Katharina, what is your question?
Do you have a vision for your future? So for Linz in 3 years, what kind of impact will you have made in the world?
So we want to scale our business with our partner in India. So that means we hope we can employ more women in India or more people that are uneducated or have no job. So we want to have this. And also we want to enable more people to get to know the real Indian culture and get to know that you can basically consume products that are made with a fair background and are good for the society. So usually consumption is always connected with something bad, overconsumption and this kind of stuff. So we want to make consumption good again.
So basically,
can I have a follow-up question? Sorry, you were saying something.
Keep it brief, yeah.
We want to raise awareness. By ourselves, we can't do that much, but if we raise awareness, maybe more people will rethink their consumption.
The follow-up question would be how much would I imagine to pay for a product that has this impact? So it isn't cheap to do the right thing in all along the value chain. So could you give me an example of a set of spices you're selling and what I would pay?
Right now we are selling spices that are not organic, and the price is about 10 euros per 100 grams. And with our organic spices, the price will stay around the same price tag. Like we will have 50-gram bags for €5, around that price. So it's basically compared to the competition, it's higher than the cheapest spices you can buy, but in that competition, Anchor Crowd and so on, it's the same price basically.
Thank you. All right. Thank you very much. We're going to have to now move on to the next and the final startup before we lock away the jury to make a decision and before we move on to our keynote interview with Rolf Schroemgens, the founder of Trivago. Now, traggert, you guys have been bugging us here already before. I hope you didn't find any compromising information on us. Feel free to share your screen and unmute yourself.
Moment. Yes, we are right about to share our screen. 1 second.
No worries. I see your cups and I can hear you loud and clear. Feel free to go ahead and kick it off.
Perfect. Let's play a game. You probably know it. It consists of a few cups and something to hide under them. The cups will be muddled up, and to win the game, you have to guess the right position. This is a surprising number of similarities to producing companies. If everything goes right, your assembly line runs smoothly, respectively, you remember the position. But if you mess things up, efficiency plummets or you lose the game. Wouldn't it be just easier to see through the cup? As previously shown, we want to bring visibility and transparency to assembly lines of small to medium-sized manufacturing companies. Most of them can still be compared to a black box. Transparency enables material flows to be optimized and previously unknown bottlenecks to be identified and eliminated. To stay competitive, this value gain is of key importance for these companies. Now, of course, the question is, how do we create transparency? The answer is our indoor positioning system. We developed a low-cost modular hardware, as you can see on the screen right now, a state-of-the-art precision computing algorithm, and the front end that allows the customer to access the material flow and related KPIs in real time.
A quick word about the team. We are all students at the KIT and former board members of the PionierGarage. My name is Max. I study industrial engineering and am responsible for business-related topics. Alex studies business informatics and is responsible for the software development, while Vito studies computer science and tackles the hardware and embedded development. Our revenue model is based on an initial one-time fee for our hardware installation and a recurring subscription model for the use of software and service. There are many possible applications of indoor positioning systems. However, the top industries are hospitals and healthcare, defense and military, logistics and warehousing, manufacturing, and sports and entertainment. We are initially focusing on the manufacturing industry because we already acquired a pilot customer in the sector and can therefore optimally design our system for this use case. In addition, the manufacturing industry in Germany is a global leader and one of the most innovation-friendly worldwide. We also have a geographical advantage, as manufacturing companies from Baden-Württemberg generate the largest revenue share in the German manufacturing industry. Regarding the market, the graph shows that the industrial IoT market in Germany is currently in a strong growth phase, and the manufacturing industry contributes significantly to this, with an annual growth rate of almost 20%. Just about a week ago, we reached a major milestone. We demonstrated our POC to our pilot customer Rommelak, and they agreed to fund the installation in a first assembly hall, with more assembly halls in planning. Thank you.
Thank you guys for this pitch. Now, next up is obviously, as usual, the questions. Sebastian Böhmer, do you want to kick it off?
Yeah, I'm curious about the rollout for your pilot project. How does the first installation look like, and how do you plan to expand from there?
Well, our first installation is planned for early April, and we basically, the box we have shown, they get hung up in the hall, about 50 of them, and we already started to integrate our tags into their systems. And after this, in the later years, if our test goes well, if the first hall goes well, we already plan to expand to the other halls.
And they have agreed with us with the full funding of that hardware, and we have agreed on the price there. And yeah, we are currently kind of ordering all the parts we need to install in the first manufacturing hall.
Cool. Yeah. All right. So next up, Gerda, you had a question as well.
Thank you. It's great that you have a customer. It's the best way to test and especially to develop your product directly at the customer. However, if you have one customer, this is one customer, you are in danger of being an external development department. How will you roll out the customer part? How do you organize sales? It's B2B. There are long sales cycles. Do you have an idea how to tackle this?
Yes, of course. We already thought about that because we have a threefold approach. We already have a pilot customer, and this pilot customer is also helping us to get in the industry. They have viable contacts in this industry, so they help us to get more in this industry, to get more customers. Also, we have an implementation partner. It's the company Telonic. They help us to implement our product, but they also help us to distribute the product, to promote our product, and also to generate more customers. And of course, we also want to generate sales, and we also want to profit from the network that we built up in our time at the PionierGarage. Yes.
Subtle flex. Now, are there more questions?
I was just wondering about the scope of a project that you might do with one of your customers. Like, how big are the amounts of money that are being exchanged, and are there any restrictions as per the size of the customers that you would serve your product to?
Yeah.
So we are currently, so our product is right now is specifically focused on medium-sized and small production companies, and we are especially building this functionality just for them, and that's why also one of our USPs is that our price is so good, because we just offer what they need. For example, they just need an accuracy. They don't need a centimeter level accuracy. They just need a roundabout accuracy of 2 to 3 meters, and we are especially offering that. So our customer base is medium-sized to small companies, and the deal size would be, so obviously our pilot customer, for example, they are gonna get cheaper, so they're gonna get cheaper deal, but it's probably gonna be around 100,000 that they are gonna pay. And then obviously with other customers, we are gonna step up the prices, but we're still gonna be way cheaper than normally than our competitors, because they are around deal sizes where for a medium-sized production company where it costs probably around 500 to 1 million, and we are going to be way lower than that right now. Yeah.
All right. Is there one final follow-up question from Sebastian or Michael?
Yes.
Kemit? Oh, okay. You have 40 seconds to cover 2 questions. Sebastian, very swiftly.
Okay, I'll try to keep it short. How do you want to overcome technical challenges and progress from pilot to product?
Well, this is what we are right now working on. So the good point about this pilot customer is that we can really work under field conditions. We can really test it in the field conditions. Of course, there will be some struggles that we have to challenge, of course, as you said. But I think this is the most important point about that we can, or they agreed, they know that we have to play a bit with the system. Of course, we don't know everything, and of course there will be some struggles and problems that we have to fix, but we are sure that we can fix them because we already showed our POC and it is working. So we are confident that it will also work there.
Okay, keep it to a few seconds, Michael Kemit.
Yeah, I'm simply curious about the potential behind the hardware. Do you see any kind of chance to have scalability behind that as well?
Yeah, of course, the hardware gets much cheaper the more we produce. Currently, we are running on. Currently, we are about twice the price we want to be at the end, and this is relatively good possible because most parts in there scale very, very good, like 2 or 3 times more expensive as if you order 10,000 of them. We already see this. We ordered a few samples and they're super expensive. And for the first haul, we have to spend a lot on the tags, but they get they get way cheaper the more the larger we get.
All right. Thank you very much for this. And those were the final words from startups during the pitch phase. The final question during Grow 2021 to the startups. Before now, we're going to be moving on to what is going to be the most exciting phase of this competition. The jury will be locking themselves in their chambers, locked doors entirely. They will be moved to a breakout room in our Zoom call that we have happening here right now. So they can deliberate their decision on who will win the several prizes, be it the sustainability prize first, second and third place. And they will be coming back in anywhere between half an hour and 45 minutes. In the meantime, we have obviously some entertainment planned for you. But before we go do that, we'll have a quick transition as we head on over to our keynote interview. Rolf, if you could turn on your camera. There is the camera. All right, excellent. Spotlight's there, so we can go in the right view. Excellent. It is working now. Lovely. Chris, are you on the scene where it shows the Slido and Rolf's name and everything? Excellent. All right. So we have all the important details here. Good evening, Rolf. Welcome. It's lovely you took the time out. Sorry, we're running a few minutes late. Thank you still for sticking around. Now, for those of you who don't know yet, Rolf, you was one of the founders of Trivago. He's now found another venture of his that, oh, the spotlight is gone again. Now, the founder of Leadership Sprouts as well. We have to just make sure, yeah, there we go. Leadership Sprouts. And well, obviously you've done also lots of other exciting things in your time. But I mean, so looking at a LinkedIn timeline is one thing. Rolf, you've done a lot over the last couple of years. What would you describe yourself as now, and what are you? What are you doing? All right, that's the best thing to be if you want to have a happy life, is it? Right.
Maybe I'm nothing at all, and I'm totally fine with it.
That undervalues what you're doing and what you're doing.
No. It's really true. No, I'm. I might do a couple of things, but I'm. I don't feel like being somebody or being something. So I think what I do right now is yeah. I mean, I'm still. I would say I'm still. A little bit engaged in my company. So I was the CEO of Trivago. I'm now a board member. So I stepped back. Have now a new CEO that runs the company, and I'm just looking a little bit after governance and doing some board work. That is definitely not taking all of my time. And I'm a quite active investor.
Right.
So I'm having a fund which I'm investing with only my own money or the money of my co-founders. It's called Monkfish Equity, which we run since 2011 or 12, and I'm doing also some investments myself with my own investment vehicle, and that's about like 100 already. So like I have around 100 investments to different companies worldwide. So there is some
keeps you busy.
some busyness created from time to time. And yeah, and I'm, as you said, I'm also a founder in Leadership Sprouts, which is a non-profit organization where we try to democratize a lot of the learnings that we made with Trivago, and promote them out there in the world. but I really have to say, none of this. I'm really like very operationally in charge, and that feels quite liberating. Yeah.
So, I mean, you've probably seen it. Some of the context. You've seen some of the pitches in the end by force because we were a bit late. But we have a lot of young founders here watching live. We have a lot of young founders here in the call on Zoom. A lot of people who are sort of inspiring to get to the success that you had with Trivago and that you then built on from then. And I think leadership sprouts from the sound of it. I listened to a couple of minutes of your podcast and a couple of minutes of what you guys envisioned there. Do you want to go into maybe what the vision is for leadership sprouts to be?
Yeah, I mean, I think in some ways Trivago was a quite special company, and it was not because of its product so much, or I don't know, many other aspects. Probably also not because of their CEO. But I think it was a quite unique company because I think you rarely have a company which gets to that size, that kind of valuation, that kind of revenue, that kind of global footprint, at least nowadays, and not a tech company which is basically more or less completely self-funded, right? So usually when you have like concepts of a similar size or like Airbnb or whatsoever, then you have a lot of investment over a very long time going into the company. And we had been extremely lucky that we were growing Trivago mainly out of cash flows, and because of that, so we didn't have to pitch a lot actually. So that's why I'm very unexperienced with pitches, and I'm also super bad in evaluating them. Actually, I realized that just looking at them. The good thing is that you are quite independent from investors and from external expectations. But still you're growing very fast, right? You grow very fast, you have this very fast-paced organization, but you're very independent. And because of that, we were really able to try a lot of weird things that others would never try. And because we tried these weird things and we found out that some of them at least are working, we kind of developed further and further away what others would say is a kind of a normal productive organization, right? And I think that was quite unique. And
do you want to go into detail about what that means, going away from a productive organization in the classical sense?
No, I'm going away from I think it's a very productive, or I think we proved that it's a very productive organization, but it's not in a very conventional sense. It's a very unconventional way. Many ways. So I think the first thing is, which I think some companies are doing right now, but I think none of, or very few really have understood the magnitude of it, is that we don't think of time as a measure of productivity anymore, for example. Which is sometimes when people say, oh, we don't have, we don't look at how long people are staying. So first of all, do you really not look at how long people are staying in your office? And then it's also not important how long they go for, like they're at holiday. It's not important if they show up at all in your office or not. And and we believe that, for example, time is a really, really bad estimator for productivity. And that has a lot of implications, for example. And that's still a quite easy thing that a lot of people understand very easily. We don't believe so much into high performers, for example. So something where you have a lot of fuss about, okay, there's these high performing people and you should pay them 20 times, 50 times, 100 times more than the medium performers because they are creating so much value. So what we found out is that this is also not really true. It's basically very strongly connected to the situation somebody is in. So it's not so much like that there is a person and that person is independent from where this person is in the organization, always high performing. But basically, it's a context in which a person is performing very highly, and so it's more about creating the right context than hiring the right person. And that is also something that is a little bit counterintuitive, right? And then it's a lot of other things which basically end into an organization which is not truly hierarchical anymore, which has different kinds of leadership systems, which has not like one organization anymore, but several ones at the same time. So yeah, so it's a lot of content. It's a lot of different things that we do very differently. Yeah.
So I mean, okay. Before I ask that question, a quick hint for the viewers: if you too would like to ask a question to Rolf, you can use a slider once again. Just go back to slider.com and enter Grow Final as a key, and there you can use on the left tab, top left, next to polls, you see Q&A. There you can ask your questions. I'll get them on the iPad right here, and I'll be able to forward them straight to Rolf. What I was going to ask though is so taking that step in a more in a very practical sense. I see a lot of startups around here, the PionierGarage, lots of other places where you might be founding with 2 or 3 guys or girls, great friends, great team dynamic. You get to the point where you're like, this is a lot of work. Maybe we have to expand. And then how do you create that environment where you still have that flow, that dynamic, and where you say it doesn't really matter who you're hiring so long as you create the right environment? How do I create that right environment?
So first of all, I think that it's important to understand that in different stages of the company you need very different things. And I think that in a very early stage, I think you do not have to make up your mind such a lot about how you want to create your organization. Like what are your values, what are your mission statement, and so on and so on. Yeah. So, I think in the moment where you're 3 people, you should not need any of that actually.
Right.
Yeah, or 4 people, 5 people, whatsoever. Yeah. Right. So I think it's as long as you're a small group, I think you should not need any of that. I think what you need is a lot of conversation between each other. And a lot of unity of the founder team, because a true culture can only start existing, I think, when you have that unity among the founder team, and when you're already 3 people and you totally go into different directions, that's an issue. So I think it's a lot of communication. I think it's not so much. Of course, you can do that. It's not harmful to do a strategy planning. It's not harmful to have a mission statement. I think having values when you're sitting together with 5 people in a room is a bit exaggerated. But I think understanding yourself a little bit better, right? So what motivates you? Where are you coming from? What's your point of view? Where do you differ with your team members? Why do you differ? What is the reason? What's the difference in your story that makes you think differently about things? And then sharing that perspective and then aligning on those perspectives more and more. I think that's super important. And especially when you're remote, because I'm totally not against remote. I think remote has a lot of advantages. There's one disadvantage, and the disadvantage is the existence of chatter, basically, of twittering, of sitting in a room together with people, and really like hearing, like on basically like while you try to concentrate on something else, you're hearing somebody else talking about something and exchanging thoughts. And this exchange of thoughts also triggers something in you, and you start to reply to that, and so on. So I think there is, I think it would be amazing if somebody could kind of recreate this, because it's something that's rarely existing. So at the end, it's not happening really in remote.
Yeah.
And I see now that a couple of people started basically to do co-working in Clubhouse, right? So Clubhouse is this audio app, right? And then people start just quietly co-working until somebody says something, and then people jump in. And that's already might be already helpful, but I think it's very important that you have this kind of connection and really have a very deep exchange with your co-workers, right? And then I think if you have that, I think there cannot go not so many things can go massively wrong in the beginning. You know?
So have a lot of conversation. I think the point you just mentioned, that was the most concise plaidoyer for a home office versus being in the office without even actually addressing the question specifically. That I think resonates with a lot of people. I want to, so you mentioned something in the beginning about when you have a couple of people, you just sort of go with the flow. There's not really any values necessarily if you just have such a small group that you have to think about consciously that much. I think there's a lot of people right here now who are in a similar situation where they really just have very few people on their team, where they have a pretty good flow and a lot of momentum going. And I was going to ask a question that elapsed my mind there again. No, oh yes, that's what. I'm sorry. It's been a long night already, and I haven't.
Take your time. It's all good.
Having non-alcoholic drinks, so maybe I have to switch soon. Anyway, so when you founded Trivago, especially, you've gone through. You've created several organizations and projects. You found Trivago, I think, with two friends from university. How did you guys get together? Did you have to lobby them around an idea? How did that all come together? Because just like, I imagine there's a couple of people around here who are like, oh, I have an idea, but how do I get people on board with this? Like, how did that all happen for you?
Yeah, I mean, I think it's a combination, and I think to be completely honest, I think it's also a lot of coincidence. So when I think about how I got to know these guys, you know, we were all three of us were studying at HHL, and basically, you know, when there was a welcome week, yeah, and it was not really a welcome week. It was a quite tough week in the first week, and people got put into teams for this first week, yeah, which was quite stressful. And there was a long list of names, and basically people were not very creative in the way how they separated groups. Mm-hmm. So they had an alphabetical list, and after 5 to 7 names, they made basically a line, right? And my last name is Schroemgens, and the name of my co-founders is Stubner, Sievert, and Finnemeyer. So we were just the last in the alphabet, and so we ended up in this group together, and so that was a coincidence, of course. But I think that we then stick together. I think it was because I think we had a lot of shared values. So we were very different personalities. So really extremely different.
Like so how specifically?
Really like on several dimensions on an extreme end, yeah. So okay. So for example, I would say I also changed over time, right? But I was very much looking for harmony, trying to bring people together, please everybody around me. Me personally, I would never have become a successful entrepreneur. All right. Just with this attitude, I would never basically be successful. But I had like a co-founder, Malte, was the complete opposite. So he was super unconventional. Always went somewhere where you said, okay, how can you do that? You know, without getting red, having no feel of shame, basically. Right. And I think him alone, he would never been successful as an entrepreneur. All right. But I think that we were together, and then, for example, Peter brought another element. Like Malte and me, we were not about security at all, right? So always risk takers, yeah. So we are very different in terms of like how we go into conflicts, but still we are both risk takers, right? Mm-hmm. And Peter is rather okay, you know. Keep calm, you know. Start thinking first, you know. Don't go into risk that's unnecessary. So we were balancing each other out, right? And at the end, I think that that I took a lot of these character traits that the other two had, and incorporating in that into my own character, right? And it was definitely part of the company character, but I think even at the end, I became a different person. They became different people, just because we were just packed so much together, and we were going through so many things together that we just learned from each other. Yeah.
Right. I think one thing that I also found interesting about your story, founding and creating Trivago, something you mentioned, I believe, on a different interview, was that in the beginning, as you created Trivago, you didn't even necessarily have that product vision that Trivago turned out to be, and that this was something that you only just it took a time to develop and to emerge from whatever you founded Trivago, whenever you founded Trivago. And we actually heard, so PionierGarage, we always have those we often have founders nights, or no, people introduce their startups and things. And there was a slide I remember vividly where one of the startups from around here, they said, you don't necessarily need a product to create a startup. I might be paraphrasing. Do you agree with that, and how exactly?
I mean,
it's
helpful. It's helpful. It's definitely. So I would say it's helpful to have a product. Right. But it's not. I get the point. It's not that I don't get the point. So I think the point there is that sometimes it's more important to start something than to not start at all and get the system running.
Right.
And it's something that a lot of people are very hesitant to start because they think they need the perfect idea, they need the perfect thing coming together, and only if they have the perfect idea, the perfect product in mind, the perfect market, then they start. So what they will find out that they will at the end never start with something, right? And I've seen so many ideas who started as something totally crappy, right? And became completely amazing at the end. And I think that's why you always have the chance to develop an idea further, and it's not so important which idea you start with. I think important is that you develop that habit of improving continuously.
Now, then we had, what is some common knowledge advice in your industry that you think is entirely wrong? I think it's hard to define your industry, but I heard you talk about very interesting things in just the organizational space where I think you disagree with other people.
Yeah, okay, that's easy. So travel would be way harder because first of all, I would have to know what the common knowledge is. But in organizations, I think that we really think that at the end, the people who is highest in the ranks should at the end decide. I think that is something, at the end, this person has to decide. And why does this person have to decide? Because she or he takes responsibility. That's why he has to decide at the end. And I think that's simply not true. I think there is a way of taking responsibility which has nothing to do with taking a decision. And I think it's first of all, it's hard to get into that thinking, but then I think when you once did it, I think it's really hard to get out anymore, because basically, I had a question of a student last week, and he asked me exactly that question. He said, Rolf, you want a leader to step back and to take his own opinion and just as one opinion of many and integrate other people's opinions. But then how should he take the responsibility if it's not his opinion? And I think as a leader, the responsibility is not that you take the decision. The responsibility is that you hire the right people, you educate them well, and you provide them a system in which you enable them to take the right decisions.
Right.
And for that, you have the responsibility. Still the responsibility. Of course you have the responsibility. But responsibility does not equal taking a decision. Yeah, and I think that is kind of something that usually people don't think like that. Yeah.
Yeah. I think that kind of ties into something that you mentioned before. I heard you mention, which was the ways of you had things work in Trivago, where you didn't necessarily just go out and give people tasks. Like, do this now. This week you do this job. It was more of a self-organizing situation where somebody who had an idea, who had a vision, would rally a team around him to make that happen and make that become reality. I think that's a fascinating way to work, but I'd love to get some insight into how did that actually end up working. Did you have like a forum where people would organize themselves? What was the system behind it, and how do you maybe have like an example how you would rally people around a project that you made then happen and realize?
I mean, we tried very, very different levels of this. Yeah, so it's this, what you described right now, is a very pure form of it. Right. Where you say basically, okay, you don't have any job at all, and basically you just pick your project and then you run, right? But we tried it. So we tried this as well, actually, and it was way more productive than you would think, because at the end, you know, we still made let's assume you are a leader of a team which is working in this direction. So you're a leader of a cross-functional team where there's many designers and many engineers and so on. And then these designers and engineers built kind of pop-up groups that was happening. They built pop-up teams. They came up with an idea, and then teams formed around them, and they did something together. So now assume that people always tell me, okay, but what happens if they do something that you don't want them to do?
Yeah.
So that is not like your idea. That is not something that the company should do. I think the question is, why do they want to do it?
Right.
So I mean, ask yourself the question: if that's not something that you think should be done, why do they want to do it?
Because they're not aligned with the right vision, probably.
Yeah, they seem not to be aligned with your vision. First of all, you know, if it's right or wrong, I think that's on a different that's a fair point. Page. But if they are not aligned with your vision at that point, right? So and if you think that you try to create a system where people are motivated by creating more value to the company, you explain them a lot, you know, what is value for the company, and so on and so on. At the end, they come to a different conclusion, right? So and it's not only one person, right? So because one person just proposes something, that they need people who follow, right? So they need a team, right? So they need 5 person, 10 people who say, no, this is the right thing for the company. So how can it be that these 10 people all have a different understanding of what you need to do for your company? I think this is an amazing opportunity, because if they are all wrong, they would misunderstand it anyway. So what would be the alternative? Somebody would tell them what to do, but they would not believe into it, because they would believe that this thing is the most important thing to do. In the moment where you give them the freedom to do what they want to do, they tell you what they think is creating value.
Yeah.
And if you're 100%, if you think they are wrong, then speak with them and talk with them. And maybe there's 2 ways that this can end, right? First of all, you have to talk to them and you re-explain them what is important for your company, and they might decide differently the next time. Option 1, if you are the smart person in the group, there's a very high chance.
Maybe not.
Maybe you are. There's a very high chance that you are not.
Yeah.
And they will explain you why they think it's important for the company, and you learn.
Yeah.
Right. But in any way, you have a conversation, right? You have a conversation because they do something that you don't want them to do. If you tell them to do something, you will not have the conversation, but you will have the same unproductivity, because they will not be aligned with you and they will just do something because they have to. In that moment, they lose 80%, 90% of their productivity, right? Because they will just do something just because you told them, and not because they really believe that this is the most valuable thing to do.
Yeah. I think one interesting thing is, because for one, there's a lot of young people watching who are just studying or finishing their studies or closing out their studies. Also, a lot of people maybe who've been in one organization for a long time, you have the unique perspective of having seen into a lot of organizations, I suppose, not only through your investment portfolio and all the things you've done. Do you see what you're describing there as sort of an organizational model as something that's sort of a transformation happening throughout industries? Is that something you feel that's sort of a trend that is taken over swiftly? Do you feel like there's need for sort of promoting that sort of behavior?
Yeah, I think there is a trend, and I think there is more understanding. I think there's more mature people starting companies now in a way, very different way of how maturity was maybe defined a couple of years ago. But so I think that people are more aware of these things when they start their company. Right. I think that there are more companies who are generally aware of these things and understand them better and better understand motivation. It's not, and it's not that this stuff that I'm speaking about, that this is new or so in any kind. It's like when you go in psychology, it's very, very like there's lots of research about it. It's just that in business we just don't care enough. Yeah, and so now people start caring because also they want to be more productive, and they start caring because we go now from we have been in an industrial age. In an industrial age, I think this top-down model to tell people what they should do still works quite well because you have a high part of non-creative work. Yeah. Mm-hmm. So when you stand in a production line, your creativity is still there, but it's limited, right? Yeah. So and when you're going out of the production line environment, you're going into the environments where we work in today. We are in a mostly creative environment, so most of our jobs are somehow in some part creative. Yeah. And people realize that, and that's why companies change. Though we have a lot of tendency that basically makes it super hard for those companies to evolve in that direction. And these tendencies are that we generally have this idea that we look for experience, right? So we are founders, we are insecure ourselves. What we do here, maybe this is all bullshit, and then somebody comes in, he looks at this company, says, oh, what a kindergarten, everybody does what they want to do. Where are your processes? Where are your rules? Can you not put people in boxes and tell them what to do, because that's the way how it should be.
Where's the procedures?
And then you think like, shit, I want to be professional, right? And then your investors kick in and they say, hey, you have to be more professional here. You want to be a leader of a large company. You have to put people in boxes. You have to put people in boxes. You have to tell them what to do. That's how it works. That's how it works for the last 200 years. That's how it does. And if you don't do it, you are unprofessional, right? So that's what this is a narrative that is out there, right? Yeah. And there's lots of founders then who give in at one point. And if I would not have had the pleasure that I would not have no investors in my company, I probably would have also given in. If I would not have had Malte as my co-founder, probably I would even given that situation I would have given in. So I think that I was very, very lucky to be in an environment which enabled us to do things which are against basically what people think is like the common sense, something that you should do, and it's like it's stories that we tell us since 200 years, and I was lucky, but a lot of founders don't have this luxury, and I think for them it's very hard. So and that's why I think we need to form more groups together where people, entrepreneurs who have. I'm still there or not anymore?
I can't hear anybody anymore.
Anybody? Oh, okay.
Maybe it's my AirPod gone dead, but normally it does make a sound. Give me a second.
I don't know. I don't know if people hear me, but
we can hear you.
Making sounds though over there. I'm gonna just try the other one real quick. You're back. All right, I got you. Luckily, there's two of those things. Go on. Right.
And really give those people affirmations and say there is another way. There is another way to lead people. There's another way to be productive, and maybe even like a more modern way to be productive, and a way to be even more productive than you could be in the classical system. And I think that's important, because otherwise I can totally understand why young founders basically give in and say, okay, then I'll be professional, and I will hire like a sales manager from Siemens, and then everything will be good.
All right. Just a quick question to the team. How are we looking in terms of the jury making a decision? Oh, hands are going up, thumbs are going up. I see letters being written. Rolf, do you have another 5 minutes so we can just go through this one final question before we announce the winners of the whole competition?
Yeah, but I don't want to hold people back, because everybody is now just waiting for the results.
Oh, this is just creating some nice tension. I like it, I think. There was a fun question, I think, and maybe this is nice just to end it on. If you could put up a billboard anywhere in the world, where would it be, and what would you write on it?
Whoa. Yeah, I mean, so probably it would be Times Square, because it's such an iconic place, and the last time I had already billboards all over Times Square when we went to NASDAQ. They do this weird thing that like for a full day, basically every little billboard there on NASDAQ shows your name, right?
How did that feel?
Way less exciting than you might think.
Were you there?
Of course I was there. I was when our IPO happened. And you wake up at 5 o'clock and you go to Times Square at 6 o'clock, and there's basically everywhere already like your name. So and it's an iconic place. But I could not be further away from this moment, actually. Yeah, and probably I would put a poster there or a billboard there and say, "Don't take yourself so fucking serious."
I love that. All right.
Because I really look. Yeah, we do.
Yeah. I mean, look at me standing here in a suit. All right. So the final question, just to close it off. What's the one piece of advice you want to give people as they head on their journey? Don't be too serious.
It's a good start. No? Don't be so serious. Yeah, maybe I stick to that. I mean, I really try to come up always with some new advice, but I'm running out of advice. When you have given some interviews, I think it's really difficult to come up with something new every time.
You can use something recycled, that's fine.
I use something recycled. Yeah, why not? I mean, I frame it a little bit different, right? So, like just try from time to time, try to take yourself a little bit less important and the people around you a little bit more as a founder, as an advice for an early founder. Yeah. And I think there's another one, which I think is also quite important, which is sometimes, take, go like 5% off the gas, right?
Right.
So that's also important, because I think sometimes you need slack to realize how you can be more productive. So just running, and I just had a discussion with one of my founders today about that topic. Is really not what makes you productive at the end. Sometimes you just have to stop running and jump on a tree and get some perspective. And and then the running might be way more productive than before.
I think that's a really, really nice piece of advice. Getting some reflection every now and then surely helps. Rolf, thank you so much for taking the time. I think it was unbelievably insightful for people to witness this chat with you tonight. Really appreciate it. Do you wanna have like a call to action for people to check out Leadership Sprouts or something like that in the end?
Oh yeah, you can. If you want, you can check out Leadership Sprouts. Definitely, the website is a bit weird because it's quite old and doesn't really tell anymore what we're doing. But there's the Leadership Sprouts podcast. We're releasing like nearly every week. We're releasing a new episode, and I think that is quite okay.
That is quite okay. All right, everybody, just in case you haven't heard us talk enough now, this is going to be a great follow-up. Rolf, have a wonderful evening, well deserved, and hope to see you around soon.
Thanks a lot. Bye-bye.
Bye-bye. All right, the interview is over. Now, everything is prepared to get the results. Before that, though, we have two more partners that we want to quickly introduce to you. The first one is thinc. Thinc is a startup club from Mannheim University, and they're also organizing an incubator program which will be launching on the 19th of March and ending on the 2nd of April. It's called Thincubator, and they have actually been listening in on the call tonight, and they will be picking one startup from tonight who will get a chance to join their incubator program. Just in case anybody watching is interested in the program, they can go ahead and follow them on Instagram at thinc.de to follow their exciting events, and maybe they even have functioning audio there. Aside from Thincubator, we also have somebody else, that being not education first, it's sorry, I need to find my Excel where I wrote your name down. Entrepreneur first. I wrote down EF, and I'm a big fan of the cycling team, education first, so somehow that was stuck in my mind. Entrepreneur first, I'm so sorry about this. Guys, who are you, and what is Entrepreneur First?
Hey, yeah, thanks for having me today. Entrepreneur First, we are the world's leading talent investor. So we invest actually in ideas, and we invest in people before they have an idea and before they have a team. And this sounds like a very wild idea, but it actually works. We do this since 9 years. We built more than 300 companies with more than 3,000 individuals around the globe, are backed by Peter Thiel, Reid Hoffman, and are running at the moment 2 cohorts per year in Singapore, Bangalore, Paris, London, and Toronto, and here in Berlin. In these cohorts, we give selected individuals like a stipend and enable them in a 3-month program to find a co-founder until we invest 90,000 euros. And in the following 3 months, we prepare them to the global investor markets, where we try to raise a seed round with them between 500 and 1.5 million euros. So this means like we claim to be actually the fastest way for a significant seed round here in the European and in the Asian market at the moment.
Excellent. And so how can participants in Grow and other maybe startup founders or people who are interested in founding benefit from you guys and get going with you?
Yes, so we are looking for exceptional people in terms of skills, but especially exceptional in terms of behavior. So we look for people who actually actively shape their own trajectory and show that they can achieve things that might be not like the normal things. If you have if you have like a very deep technical understanding, a strong commercial understanding, or like a scientific skill, technical skill, and you want to build a globally important company, I think then you can apply to our program on Join EF that you see in the background, and for our next cohort, which is starting already in April.
Oh, that's very soon. All right, thank you very much for that. That's really exciting. So everybody, just in case that sounded interesting to you, go and check them out at joinef.com. Thank you, Philip, very much for being around and for introducing you guys. I hope you're gonna enjoy the results of tonight, and maybe that's gonna inform some future partnerships as well.
Absolutely. Thanks a lot for having me.
Bye-bye. See you soon. All right. Whew. This is it. The time has come for us to move on to the next phase. And that is going to be the results of tonight. we're going to be moving on to the prize giving ceremony. Let's transition. Chris, we didn't transition. We only went to the... Chris? All right. Some thinking is happening at the moment, some intense... All right, so maybe you can see the fog coming up around me. This is where things start to look dramatic. Arthur, I'd feel a lot more comfortable if you'd be in front of the cable, just to make sure we don't kill the entire electricity on our systems. Everything is plugged into one plug. That works great. Anyway, we're going to be starting the prize giving ceremony with the sustainability prize. Well, the way this is going to work is that I'm going to put away the iPad and I'm going to get a large envelope from Elena, head of Grow. And this is a sustainability prize. Let's see who won it. Sustainability prize is obviously associated with a €1,000 prize. Ooh. So, I actually haven't seen those yet. Sustainability prize goes to a project that is very unique, that really emphasizes the international culture of this year's Grow competition. The sustainability prize goes to Kemit and Schroemgens. Congratulations! So
Thank you very much, guys. Thank you very much.
Kemit, you guys, Donald, you're going to get a chance to express your thanks in a second. Before we do that, we're going to have Michael Becker, who is going to share some words on why you guys especially deserve that prize.
Okay, thank you very much. Congrats to the team. It was very close. So we had 6 teams as nominated for the prize. It was Linz, MoThor, Waya Collective, joeybag, Discovery, and Kemit and Schroemgens. We were really impressed that we have so many sustainable projects in the final now and also in the midterms. And what we thought is very attractive is the social aspect of this team, the global thinking. And as an insurance broker, I know how difficult it is to be in this business. And we like the persistence of this idea and also of the team. It's a hard market and also a hard idea, like to bring this into the market also in Africa. But we were really impressed about the persistence and focused on that. And the presentation was good. We thought it's a really global perspective. It's a good idea also for other countries. We really congratulate the team. It's a very good idea, sustainable idea. So thank you very much.
Awesome, thank you, Michael. Donald, do you wanna share a word on this as well?
I will hand over to my friends so that they can say some things.
Yes, let's do that.
Yeah, okay, then I will say something as the German part, I would say, of Kemit and Schroemgens. Yeah, thanks a lot. I appreciate very much I mean, it's a sign that we are on the right track and that we are like doing the right thing. And yeah, we thought about how we could like really sustainable develop a business model which can help many people, and on the other way is sustainable, like not just a charity foundation. So yeah, that was our goal from the beginning, and that's it's great to see that you also see it like in this way. Yeah, thanks a lot.
All right, thank you, David and Lucy, aka Caro. All right. With that being said, let's go on and get to the trophies that we have set up right here. Next up is going to be 3rd place. This is where we normally have this like cool third place. All right, this is all tightly choreographed. As you see, we are seasoned professionals. All right, Elena, third place, the massive envelope. I see who's introducing them, but I don't know who's winning. This is exciting. I'm kind of excited for you guys too now. Having seen those pictures through the 3 months and seeing the development, this is really quite amazing. All right, honestly, one of the startups from around here, a local one, not the local one, they're a different organization, but a startup that made significant progress, that shows significant promise as well, especially from the presentation earlier, showing interesting numbers even that I would have not personally expected. Also a sustainable startup. Third place at Grow 2020-2021 goes to joeybag. Congratulations. Arthur. Somebody, we need some startup that can launch like confetti cannons. Sorry guys, you would have normally also got one. This is not for the sustainability prize only. Let's see whether Paul can do better. All right, there we are. Michael Kemit, do you want to share a word on why joeybag deserved that third prize and why they were that amazing?
Yeah, sure. First of all, congrats from my side and congrats from the jury. Yeah, we have been impressed actually by the very professional pitch you did, and we thought it was very well prepared. We have even seen progress in the pitch, and what is also very impressive, you have a clear plan for your growth after grow, and that is, I think, a very good sign as well. And you put also innovative methods on a very simple product, a bag actually, but you took this bag into a new perspective. Sustainable perspective, of course, with the zero waste approach made out of ocean plastic, but also bringing it to the community. And actually, I'm also a bag forgetter all the time. I'm quite happy to use it. So it's my personal approach to it. Congrats, you made a good team and a good team progress. Congrats for you and the team.
Awesome, thank you, Michael. Now, somebody from the joeybag team, do you want to share some insight onto what this means for you moving forward?
Yeah, thank you so much for this feedback. And yeah, we're really looking forward to the next steps and to see what our experiments will bring and what next customers will say. And yeah, and then we can carry on and develop further. Yeah.
Awesome.
Promise to make some noise in Karlsruhe, and we thank you for the Grow event and the mentoring and the events we have been able to participate. Thanks.
Thank you guys, and I can't wait to see your bags at my local Rewe and Edeka. All right, with that, we're moving on to second place. And with that, we're obviously also moving up in the prize money pool. We're moving on to second place, which is going to receive 2,000 euros in financial support. As Paul is getting ready with a confetti cannon, I'm getting ready to open the envelope. Let's see who's in there. I think I'm more nervous than the starter people because oh, okay. It's a red piece of paper. It's a startup that had me at times feeling insecure. A startup that at times had me feeling not sure whether we're in Russia or surveilled by the NSA. It's a startup that showed some really, really, really impressive first customer. A startup that is well connected and has obviously served great service to this organization, PionierGarage, and they know it already now by this description. It's traggert. Congratulations! All right, traggert, congratulations. Well done on this second place and the 2,000 euros that come with it. We have Sebastian, sharing some words on what convinced them, the jury tonight.
Yes. Congratulations also from my side and from the jury. Traggert team, you did an awesome job. We were very convinced by your team, like that you succeeded in bringing in Internet of Things from a mere buzzword to the factory shop floor actually, and also to the launchpad as we heard from Alex. So congratulations on the progress you've made. I guess that it is not always easy to address such a technical topic, but it fits the region that we are in really well, like the industrial powerhouse in the Germany's southwest. So congratulations on the first proof of concepts that you've made, and we will really look forward for you to take the next steps and commercializing the product.
All right, thank you, Sebastian. Now, guys from Traggert, do you want to say something for a moment as well?
Yes, sure. We really appreciate the prize. Really, at the second place, it's really a very nice story. It was a very nice journey for us, and we also really look forward to the next steps. And we also wanted to give a little call to action to all those who watch right now. So you see that the three of us, we all met in the PionierGarage, and if you're really curious about startups and you want to found a startup, just join the PionierGarage. It's the perfect place to really just try things out.
Stay true to your roots. Well done. Thank you, guys. Congratulations once again. All right, we're nearly at the end. It's almost there. We're moving on to the winner, to the first place at Grow 2020-2021. All right, Elena, let's get the envelope. It's gold this time. Thank you very much. This is it. There's double confetti cannons getting ready and in place right now. We're going to have two jurors in a moment saying a word on why this startup was that special. Now, I could not decide. I'm lucky. I'm glad I'm not part of the jury and I don't have to decide on who actually gets this prize. But somebody does, and the jury made a decision. I'm sure it wasn't easy, and we'll surely hear about it in just a second. 3,000 euros. This massive trophy. Glory, recognition across the entirety of the world. Legendary status within the community of the PionierGarage, within Karlsruhe and beyond, awaits you. And also a coaching. Yes, I forgot to mention that. Let's have a look. I think this is probably, the workshop, no, not the workshop. The program is called Grow, and I think, those guys embody that. It's been impressive to see what they've come up with, especially the pitch today. First place at Grow 2020-2021 goes to the startup. Should we wait a moment? Data Flares, congratulations, well done! You guys are legends, congratulations on winning the entirety of Grow. Massive round of applause and confetti and cannons. Katharina, you were mentioned here first. Do you want to kick it off and expressing just why they were that amazing?
Yeah, sure. So Phil and Dan, I see you're already having a good time. So congratulations on my side too. So we were quite impressed with the entrepreneurial passion that you displayed today in the pitch. I saw you had a new pitch. So you had a massive learning curve, especially from the midterm onwards. I think in the midterm you were kind of like an underdog, but today you displayed that you actually deserve the first place, I think, really. And I think you were really well prepared and you showed a lot of competence during your pitch, you answered all the questions. You were really, really well prepared in this regard. You were obviously really excited about the entire thing, and you learned a lot. And I think it was just fun to watch. And I think you do have a great product and a great idea that you can do a lot with. And I think we saw great progress, and we're looking forward to see you grow.
Oh, thank you, Katharina. Orestes, you're up next.
Yes. So also from my side, congratulations for the great pitch that you gave, and of course for winning the prize. Now, this is a very important topic. You know, data privacy is really something that is important to all of us, and probably will increase in importance. And Alex was saying that he didn't know whether it was the NSA or the North Korean secret services, or I don't know who was following us. So I think it's important to think about concepts. And I mean, there are different concepts. And one of them is the one that you propagated. And I think it's an innovative concept. It's an original concept. And I think that also played into the decision of the jury. And when we were discussing what kind of story could we tell around that kind of thing, and some of us remembered that famous hearing in the Senate in Washington D.C., where the big internet giants were invited to, and the senators started discovering what these guys do and how they earn money and everything. And it was really interesting to see that there is an increasing awareness of what's happening, and probably we will need to find new ways. And I think that is a contribution what you do. So this is the background. Congratulations again. I hope you will continue your journey
Thank you.
With what you started. Yeah.
Lovely. Thank you, Orestes. I also heard, I just got a note that Gerda wants to also say a quick word on that.
Thank you very much. I take some time.
No
some of your time. First of all, I want to make congratulations to all the teams. You were great. Not only the winning teams. It was very. They were not very different. The teams. It was a hard decision for us as a jury to make the decisions. Great teams. But it's also an honor for me to thank to PionierGarage. It's really great job you did. I was, maybe you don't know that, I was jury of the first Grow. So I saw some of that Grow finals. You did a really, really great job. And I think we can't thank enough for that. I know that how hard the work in the background is. We only see the front, and we see the success that shows us how much you did in the background. That's really hard, and it's important work, and that's great that you are doing it. And you're, I saw Grow again and again, and I'm impressed by the improvements. I'm impressed by the high quality we see. I hope that you will continue this. It's a really important work. It's fun to watch it. It's also fun to watch Alex. That's really, it's really great moderation. It's the best I've ever seen at that point. Really, I'm jealous because I would love to have that ability to make it like this. And it's also a real challenge to do it in remote. You made the best out of it. Really, thank you very much. Thank you for the team in the background. I know how hard the work is. Thank you for all that. I hope that you will continue this. It's important. It's important for the students and important for Karlsruhe. And you do a great work.
Thank you very much, Gerda. I'm sure everybody on the team appreciated to hear that very, very much.
And we still have to hear the winners, right? We need to hear a reaction from the winners.
Oh yeah, I forgot. I entirely forgot. Yeah. Thank you, Orestes. This is a team effort here. Thank you. I appreciate that. Oh God, I got so wrapped up in that, because I was gonna. That's like what I was gonna say after. Anyway, the winners, Data Flares, guys. Let's put a spotlight on them and see what they have to say, or hear rather.
Well, if you insist.
You must.
Yeah. First of all, wow, thank you. We're quite a bit overwhelmed and speechless. We never expected this to happen today. Thank you for all the feedback and for this great time, and thank you for the organization. And we never expected out of those 10 ideas, which were all amazing, that we kind of end up here and now winning this thing. And yeah, I don't know what to say.
What are you going to do with the cash?
That's a good question. Well, you can go on if you want. Sure.
Yeah, so the plans are probably that we are going to intensify our work with the freelancers and try to get our product to a stage where we can confidently present it in front of investors or other funding organizations, so we can secure sustainable funding for the whole development. So this is probably where most of the money goes to. But maybe, I think in Corona times a bit difficult, but maybe we will.
I thought you would say we will rent that camping van for 30 days.
That would be lovely. Thank you guys so much. We cannot wait to see what you guys will do with the money and with your project moving into the future.
Thank you. We'll keep you posted.
Nice. Awesome. All right. I think that then actually finally does wrap it up. My AirPod just did the noise that it does when the battery is running empty. And I think that's a good sign for us to wrap it up. We did go a little bit into overtime, half an hour. That's not too bad compared to the last, to the midterms and the kickoff. Honestly, at this point, yeah, Gerda summed it up quite well. At this point, I would love to have the entire team here in front of the camera. And although we're all tested with COVID, I think it would look a bit bad if we had the squad. There's hearts in their hands. If I could just ask everybody who is still on YouTube, everybody on Zoom, to maybe write a warm word in the chat, write them a nice message the next couple of days, wave their hands and use the wave hand or some sort of emoji reaction feature in Zoom, write something nice in the YouTube chat. They deserved it. They put unbelievable effort and work into this project. Elena, Tony, Chris, Arthur, Paul, and so many more who contributed to this, be it supporting members of the PionierGarage who made all of this possible, be it obviously the jury. You guys, you took time out of your days, out of your weeks to prepare those finals, to come here and face those difficult decisions of who's going to make it further, to ask those tough questions, to be attentive for hours and hours and hours, and still make a sound decision in the end. Thank you so much for that. Thank you obviously again also to our sponsors. You've seen them in the beginning, you've seen them rotating in the bottom of our screen, this side, the entire evening. You've gotten the goodie bags and everything. We're going to have a quick little remote after party with some cocktail mixing instruction things going on for the startups, and obviously the jury is warmly invited to remain in the call too if they feel like they need to spend some more time this evening or would like to, obviously, and chat with the startups. Everybody else watching online, thank you so much for tuning in, for being part of this, for making this so exciting, for putting some pressure on the startups as well to perform in front of a large audience, even though it may be remote. This is a whole new challenge for them, been a whole new challenge for them as well. And honestly, yeah, if you have any ideas to get something off the ground, to build something new, to launch a startup, PionierGarage is the place to go, to meet people, to find space to make it happen, to sometimes find reliable Wi-Fi, and to really just meet some nice people. I'm thankful that you stuck around our technical issues tonight. We tried our best to make it stable and exciting. I think tonight it tipped a bit more to the exciting side due to the technical things rather than what we've come up with on else. But enough talking. Thank you for being part of Grow 2020, 2021. And we're beyond excited to see you coming back next year for another session of Grow. Have a beautiful evening and see you guys soon. Ciao.